amidst the screen, got stories bold and keen. Old soldier, sharp and mean, tells truths they've never seen. Rugby lover with a roar, Africa flowing in his core. YouTube rants they can't ignore, his passion makes his heart soar. Colonel Wyatt, hear his call, shining light through it all. Trolls may rise, but he'll stand tall. Subscribe now, don't miss the brawl. Military mind, keen and wise, truths come out, no disguise. South African skies, in his eyes, hear his voice, no surprise. Retired soldier with the fight, in the dark he brings the light. Angry rants, truths ignite, join the cause, join the ride. Colonel Wyatt, hear his call, shining light through it all. Trolls may rise, but he'll stand tall. Subscribe now, don't miss the brawl. Enemies knocked on his door, trolls attack, but he's more with each click. Watch him soar on the truth waves, he explodes. Colonel Wyatt, hear his call, shining light through it all. Trolls may rise, but he'll stand tall. Subscribe now, don't miss the brawl. Right now, don't miss the brawl.
Take a picture.
I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hating. Thanks to all the rumors you be claiming. It's cool, I'm done with you, so they can throw you a celebration. You gon' hate it when you see me with somebody living better. I'm trying to tell you that me just doing me gon' have you jealous.
Friday, February 28th, 2025. And what a February it's been, folks. Welcome back to the program. This is Chris live in Central Pennsylvania. Wyatt Army 1, Hate Wankers 0. Go back to your room there and take your hand off your member, release that blood, and let it flow back to your brain there. Little hate wanker coming on here. We're not tolerating the hate wankers anymore. We're going to use the Ronaldo Hose approach to hate wankers, and boom! PK, you're gone. So, Wyatt Army 1, Hate Wankers 0. Piss off, footsec. Little scurry back to your little domain there of misery there. But welcome back to the program, folks. In case you don't know what I'm talking about, you may have noticed some little turd in here early on who's already been sent packing. By the way, whining about that video. That video is a song that one of my viewers made. I didn't make it, and I put the images to it. You'll notice that there's an awful lot of images of, God bless, what's this shirt? A lot of images of me with other people, meeting other people. That's the whole point of it. It's a YouTube specifically song that was written, and if you don't like it, you don't have to watch it. Go somewhere else. Welcome back, everybody. Friday. Boy, things are always happening. What an eventful month this has been. Que le bois. Merci mille fois. Salve, not salve, salve is wrong, it's a greeting. Vielen Dank, ich bedanke mich, und beide danke. Thank you all so much for making February the most eventful month on this channel in its history. Yes, I realize it's probably because President Trump, but we'll take the crumbs where we can get them. It's definitely not been a month of crumbs. We've had over 3.1 million views in the last 28 days. That doesn't include today. So Wow, that is, we had 4.6 million before all of this started, if I'm correct. This is crazy after all this effort. 300,000 hours of content watched in the past month. But to be fair, I've been making content like a demon possessed. So many things. So much news out there, so much to talk about. Anyway, let me get to load everybody in the chat, then we'll get on. I see Ronaldo Jose's here. Welcome, Ronaldo. Congratulations to you. Your channel is finally overcoming the YouTube harassment as well. And I see you're north of 140,000, headed to 150,000. Congratulations to that channel as well. And to Ronaldo, thank you for the super chat. You gave a super chat there, Ronaldo. 50 rands on the 50,000 subscribers. Thank you so much for that, Ronaldo. Appreciate that. Wow. Peter Liebenberg is here. Allison Johnson, Dylan Combrek, one of the OGs, been here since the outset. Christo L's been with us a long time. Ormagan, Janisa Lawrence, Faith Naidu. Hello, Faith. Thoughts and prayers for Faith. George Steinberg in from Heckport, as always. And then we've got, who else there? Tim Foster. Ants. Ants is one of those OGs, been with us a very, very long time. Louise Rayner. Buckle up and keep warm. Alta, the Outcast. Welcome, Outcast. Ronell's been with us a very long time, too. Dr. Clue. Niels Britz, Ernst Cuthbert. Afrikaner Boer is back. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon, campers. Yeah, we're all feel like campers. By the way, this isn't a rugby. This is a cricket hat. Check it out. Yeah, the one-day internationals, ODIs. I went to the World Cup in 2019 before I left the Army. Trip to UK. Missed not having a live stream this morning. We had a live stream this morning, Rebecca. What are you talking about? We had a live stream. I'm not sure what you mean. Did I miss something here? 2 hours and 45 minutes worth. We had a live stream. And how many people watch it after the fact? Hang on a second. Yeah, about 2,900 people watch it after the fact. So, not 2,900 people watch that fact. Who else we got here? Okay, those are all folks. Yappy Brandt, Ronell. Okay, then Gus is here. Okay, Jan van Riebeck. Antoinette was it Homan? Is that like Tom Homan? Wow. Abe Kalitz. It's a surname I never heard of before, Tom Homan. First American. Maeve Maroon, welcome. Del Visser, Pierre Charmaine. And there's a Miss Pumba. Thank you for your membership. Didn't see that come up. Thank you for the 50,000. Congratulations. And Ronaldo, thank you for the super chat. There's a piece on video on YouTube on business called De Beer Essay, A Portal for Terror. Neil De Beer is United. Yeah, I know Neil De Beer. Abe, interviewed him multiple times here. I'm the first person to take his campaign seriously for the UIM. And I've interviewed him and Fatima Abdul and a few others in that party. See on Beyond Classics, Cosato DA suggests to use government pension fund. What do we say? What do we say? Expropriation without compensation isn't about land. It's about power. It's about power and taking things from people. There you go. Now that the mainstream media is catching up to our analysis, now people are going to pay attention. Dylan Weirn, Marinda Duplessis, Jose, Ernst Wright, Martin Williams Barnard, video to Colonel. Malema in court. Is Malema back in court? Marius Fenter. Garrett Gillich, OG. Paul Ferreira, also an OG. James Duvall. And Alter Bridge, another OG. My best mate from down under too. Here too. Well, welcome, Alter Bridge. Good to see you again. Wonder where you've been. Yeah, Miguel Fundavesto says Trump has dumped the ambassador. No, it's not the ambassador. It's Chargé d'Affaires. I'm going to talk about that shortly, okay? Jamie from African Forum handled the interview well, while that reporter tried to put words in his mouth. I don't know what you're talking about. What, Mighty Jamie? I don't know. Who? Jamie who? No, Jamie's not from African Forum. I don't know what you're talking about, guys. Who's Jamie from African Forum? Ernst Cuthbert. And what interview? My interview last night aired with Yaku. Yaku was on last night, and I don't think that's doing very well. Let me see. Yeah, that's not doing very well. There's not much interest in it. The only time people pay attention to the African Forum and Solidarity is when people lie about them in things in the States. That video has 10,500 views. Very disappointing. And the one with colleague Creel only has 20,000. So 30,000 views on those two videos, which are exclusive interviews. The only media organization that interviewed them in the States, and they get 20,000 views, 30,000 views. That's ridiculous. whatever. Losing sleep over that, but that's a shame. Oh, Collie. I didn't see the interview you're talking about, Ernst. World Bridger. Morning live stream. My second personally, what's this? Personality, PT to court, normally watch on the phone. Okay, Jan, thank you. South Africa Farm for Life. Saw a few more farms and small holdings up for sale. Well, you mean locally. There's always hundreds of farms and small holdings up for sale in South Africa. So maybe you mean locally that you've seen. Jared Horn, yes, property can be classified as anything you own. Exactly, Jared. Been saying that for years, trying to warn people. People not listening. Starbucks, 2 good interviews. Oh, thank you, Joseph. You did see those. There's some might watch them. Sorry about the sound, folks. The best I could do was rather huge ceiling. The ceiling in here is at least 12 foot high. I've got a raised ceiling in this room, and so the sound isn't great in here. It isn't soundproof. But the Starbucks, the ceilings were 20 or 30 feet high, and it sound just bounced off the walls in there. But I did like the fireplace. But it was a you could see the fireplace. You could see through it, right? Because it came up a chimney, and it went to the outside to heat up the outside area as well as the inside. So you could see the cars driving through the fireplace. That was kind of a nice effect. Salt Doge in South Africa is going to be called Deuce. South African Broadcasting Corporation said they're treasonous and can't land in South Africa. Yeah, right. They're already on their way back. Well, actually, they're on the way back tonight, probably, I imagine. Newsroom Africa. Thank you, Mini Moments. Yeah, Newsroom Africa, it's just, you can't even watch that stuff. I only use it for clips anymore. It's just too much propaganda. Was that some of the sound? Somebody deleted their sound comment. Roxy Numbers, welcome back to you. Oh, yeah, there's good advice. Yeah, okay, first off, a couple things here, folks. The live stream's there. You've got to click. If you don't see it pop up, YouTube is suppressing something. So you have to pick up the tab live and look for lives on there, and then you'll see it. Ronaldo's for a long time, for like 8 months, every time I looked for Ronaldo, I couldn't find his live stream. I had to go to the channel, and I'm like, he's not, because he wasn't doing it every day. He was doing it 3 days a week. So I'm like, is it the wrong day? And then I see the live tab. I kick on it, and he's live. Yeah, so especially if he does a members only one, that's when that happens. Solidarity does not have the mandated claims. With so many members, it should hundreds of thousands of views and interactions and posts on YouTube uploads unless people are afraid. Derek, I don't know what you're talking about. What mandate are they claiming? There was no mandate claimed in my interview. Where are you getting your information from? That is not what my interaction from them said. Left is losing their crap. And so they go, yeah, Miguel, they're definitely losing their crap. No doubt about that. Your audio is good, Colonel. No, not now, Marius. I meant in the Starbucks interview. It's like really loud. Well, you mean here, but thank you for that. No, it could be better. I think the person with the best sound is Jeremy Nell. Jeremy Nell's got awesome sound. His microphone's incredible. Yep. No, Ronaldo should not go live more often, Christo. No. We don't need Ronaldo going live more often. We're trying to build this channel. When are you doing Rogan? When Joe Rogan invites me. Yeah, Kali Krill had an interview with African News and the Rude Reporter. Now, lady. Okay, thank you for that. How long does Southern take to issue a passport? Well, it depends. Some people get them pretty quick. Some people don't. All right, let's go ahead and get to the news, folks. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Be sure to hit the like button if you don't mind. How are we doing on likes before we get to that? By the way, just to give you a heads up and tell you what's actually going on with the channel, because I know some people are curious about it. First off, this refresh. Let's see if YouTube plays nice today. It's been playing very badly lately with keeping track of your studio. Right. We have 275 likes, 559 people here. Great. Okay. By the way, I have 51,483 subscribers. Yesterday, with 5 videos produced and the interviews, we wound up with under 1,000 subscribers, I believe. Let me take a look and see what the number was yesterday. But still, we went from 51,247. Wait, no, sorry. 5392 to 247. It's about 850 subscribers yesterday. That's better than we have for the past week and a half. It's only been about 200 or 300 per day. So that was good. So it took a while to get 50,000. But we gained yesterday. So that's that. Also, yesterday we hit the most views we've had. Seriously? Let me see. Let me go back 90 days here very quickly. 90 days. Yesterday was the most views we've ever had on this channel in history. Wow. Namaste. Thank you so much, folks. I didn't realize that. Wow. We've been consistent since January 30th. Things have really taken off. But yesterday's the most views this channel's ever had. That's crazy. Wow. I'm sorry. In the last 90 days, I should say. Not ever. Let's say. Let's double check and make sure if it's ever. No, it's ever. It's the most ever. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Last 90 days. Let's go. I'm going to make a couple graphs and show you those real quick, and then we'll get to the news very quickly, just to give you an idea here. So 3.8 million views in the last 28 days. Wow. That's almost the total views this channel has had in 4 years. So little hate wanker called me a megalomaniac. Gee, maybe I have a reason to be a megalomaniac. Things have gone well for once. Oh, these sad people. They're sad puppies. Okay. Let's just give you an idea to show you how things have really changed here. Now we're 8 million views on this channel. If you throw in all my YouTube content, I'm approaching, let's see, 3 million on that one, 11, about over 12 million views, 14 million views so far, which pales. Ronald's probably got that on 2 videos back in the day. But we're not competing in that respect. All right, so let me get back here. I want downloads. This is what I want. So, hello, why are you there? Okay, here's the last 90 days. So you guys can see what I'm talking about here. Okay, so this is what the last 90 days have looked like. You can see just the past month. February's been unbelievably incredible. Going back to November, you can see how it's jumped every day over 80,000 roughly. 75,000 lowest for the last month per day. Burnett Global says, will any news updates be covered today? Well, let me think about that. Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe we won't do the news. That's the lifetime of the program. All right. Well, now that we're done whining about whether the news will be covered, I guess we can cover the news. Well, no, it's a troll probably. You know, you get the program for free. You can wait till the program's over, stop, fast forward, see when the chit chat ends, and then watch the news. You know, that's an option too. Well, let's start off with the most encouraging news I've seen coming out of Washington, D.C. in years. No, it's not DEI. No, it's not gender-based nonsense. No, it's not boys and girls sports. No. President Donald Trump signed an executive order rescinding the nonsense, the gobbledygook that Bill Clinton put in place for the federal government, and has officially declared English the official language of the United States government. Woohoo! Finally. Now, of course, I'll be attacked roundly. You're just a xenophobe. Look at that white boy. He must be a racist. He don't like other people. I speak 6 languages. I think people should learn a second language. It makes your mind much more adaptable, and it's good to understand other cultures. I agree. And I'm not talking about learning just French or learning, you know, something like Italian. I'm about learning other languages from around the world. I support multilingualism wholeheartedly, but I do not support the bifurcation, destruction of the social cohesion of my country by political activists, undermining it by forcing Spanish down our throats. This is not Spain. It's not Mexico. It is not Latino America. It is the United States. Learn to speak English or get the fuck out. Trump signed executive order making English official U.S. language. U.S. has never had national language in its 250-year history, which is embarrassing as a major industrialized power. President Trump is planning to sign an executive order that would, for the first time, make English the official language of the U.S., according to White House officials. In its nearly 250-year history, U.S. has never had a national language. At the federal level, hundreds of languages are spoken in the U.S., the byproduct of the country's long history of taking in immigrants from around the world. Yes, and of course, we're always attacked. Now when the left wants to complain about having English as national language, suddenly we do speak languages. But for years, all we've heard is Americans are lazy. They won't learn languages. They're all just a bunch of white hillbilly racists. And now it's like, well, America's aid isn't that important. America's a shit country. America's systemic racism. America, we hate America. We hate America. Don't take your aid away. Oh my God, people are losing jobs in HIV. Oh, stop, please. Yeah, okay. Well, this is what happens when you take people for granted. Piss on you. Piss on you. Agencies, this rescinds an executive order, federal mandate issued by Bill Clinton that agencies and other recipients of federal funding are required to provide language assistance to non-English speakers. Gone. We'll go back to English. And if you can't speak English, then you won't get the assistance. Get over yourself. Peter from Brits. Thank you for your time and effort. Hey, Peter, I go through Brits. Not my favorite place, but I go up to see my friend Herman Ruas, who lives north of there. He's a tobacco farmer. So here's the dumbest poll. We had the pollster on yesterday from the Social Research Foundation. That would be Gabriel Mencken, the Cape Tonian there from the mother city, who's working in London at the moment. But Gabriel was on yesterday and talked about polling and some of the surprises you might find about polling in South Africa. Well, the Times Live has a history of asking the most dumbassery polls you can imagine. Here's a dumbassery poll, and it backfired on them. Should Trump be held liable for repercussions of the decisions to shut USAID-funded programs? Excuse me. Trump should be held liable for not giving people money. Ungrateful pricks. You give them money for decades, and instead of becoming self-sustaining and responsible for their own actions, they whine and want to blame you for it when they take the money. Linda Ells. Hey, Linda, thank you for the 14 rand super chat. Your first ever. Cool. Yeah, they want to blame us now. They want to blame us. They want to say he's responsible. U.S. President Trump's decision to permanently shut USAID-funded programs in South Africa could have severe consequences for people who rely on the programs. PEPFAR-funded HIV organizations and other health projects funded by the U.S. government have been terminated. Yeah. Yvette Raphael from the Advocacy for Prevention HIV said they were concerned about Trump's decision. An HIV clinician speaking anonymously who provided health department with help in the clinics in hospitals via PEPFAR for 17 years said government has to cease the inaction and their seeming return to the behavior we saw during the worst years of AIDS denialism when politicians let their opinions impact hundreds of thousands of lives. This cannot be allowed to happen again. 69%. No. No one's denying AIDS in America. You're just not getting handouts anymore there, sweetheart. You're not getting, you had 22 years. The president's emergency. Do you understand the words coming out of my mouth? Emergency. Another super chat. Thank you for that, Joe Fo. Johan Fo, thank you for that super chat, 40 rand. Yes, do you understand the words coming out of my mouth? Emergency. Not enduring, not forever, not permanent. 5-year program, $15 billion, and we spent $45 billion, $15 billion. 22 years later, $130 billion later, and you want to blame us because you haven't taken responsibility for it? Well, the South African government, instead of making stupid ass polls on Times Live, hey, Times Live, why don't you ask a poll about whether government officials in South Africa should be held financially liable for the deaths of thousands of South Africans because of HIV, because of denialism from Thabo Mbeki. Yes, remember the Treatment Action Campaign that finally sued the government, got them to do something. It took Jacob Zuma, of all people, to pay attention to HIV in South Africa. And when he left the stage, it's been ignored again. Don't be blaming America. This is your problem. You created it. It's your behavior. It's your actions, not ours. It's your problem. Fix it. Fix it. You had 22 years. Look, I ran HIV programs all over Africa. So they're not going to sit here and try to guilt me and stuff. I know how it works. I know who's lazy. I know who tries. And I know who's taken the money that we've given and made an effort to genuinely improve the situation and take responsibility. Countries like, say, Botswana. Yeah, but not South Africa. Give me a frickin' break. Well, speaking of, putting the words in the wrong place, Joel Pollack gets an article penned in Breitbart. Of course, he's editor-in-chief there, so he gets to do what he wants. Joel Pollack's article, South African President Ramaphosa attacks Trump, vows to arrest Netanyahu. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa attacked U.S. President Donald Trump on Tuesday, an article in which he criticized the U.S. for its sanctions on the International Criminal Court and also viciously attacked Israel. Yep, well, there you go. Stupid move, Cyril. And 50 rand super chat from 127748. Thank you for that. Space 99. Chris, is there a C-17 lined up and ready to come fetch us right? I don't know. There aren't any C-5s, Space. Thank you for your super chat. Yeah, I don't think there's any C-17s. They're U.S. Forces Africa Command. They'll come from United States Air Forces, Europe, USAFE. Well, more whining and teeth gnashing. And this comes from one of the people who likes to be falsely accredited with something that he didn't do. Well, remember when the Botswana folks identified a variant of COVID, and then the South Africans took credit for it? Well, this Brazilian is one of those people involved in that, apparently. USAID cuts, a short-sighted move that threatens global health and scientific collaboration. Cuts to U.S. spending on health and medical research have caused widespread havoc and anxiety over the past month. Professor Tulio de Oliveira sat down with Spotlight's Bien Huisman to talk about what he thought might be for health research. Well, the nonpartisan Pew Research Center in the United States released figures showing that the American government's total 2023 budget, 1.2% or $72 billion, was spent on foreign aid. Of this foreign aid, 14.7% was earmarked for the ongoing battle against HIV and 2% for combating pandemic influenza. So what they're trying to tell us is that, the United States is, cutting this money and it's such a small amount of money. Well, if it's such a small amount of money, then why doesn't Brazil? Why doesn't South Africa? Why doesn't Russia, India, China, Saudi Arabia step up as BRICS members and take care of this problem? Ooh, what about China's the world's second largest economy? $19 trillion a year. Where is their aid in this? What about the United Nations AIDS program, UNAIDS? All they are is just a talk fest. All they are is a place that collects data, and they spend $200 million a year. Why don't they start spending money on condoms and prevention instead of blaming us? Yeah, So this is what happens. Yaku Swanepoel, 14 Rand, love your stream, you're a legend. Well, thank you so much for that. For years I went along with this. Not that we had a moral responsibility, but that it was necessary to help people. And as the years progressed, I became increasingly annoyed at the fact that governments just lived high off the teat. And this is what happens with dependency. This is what happens with socialism and communism. When you give people stuff, they become lazy. They have no sweat equity. They have no skin in the game. They have no dog in the fight. Any more euphemisms I could throw in there? Marco Brits, 14 Rand, thank you. They have no motivation to do something themselves. And as a consequence, they become lazy. Lazy. It's unbelievable. And this is what we have. 22 years of gifts. AJ, 140 Rand super chat, super sticker number one. Thank you so much for that. They do this nonsense. They blame us. How about you get your act together and stop suckling off our nipples? Good God. Unbelievable. I don't give a crap if China's a developing nation, the second largest nation in the world with $19 trillion developing nation. Well, that's not my fault, Holden Caulfield. That's their fault. Get over themselves. They've got plenty of money. Data modeling talks about the number of deaths. Heavy toll from USAID cuts on Africa. But we were told America doesn't matter. No. As long as we give you money, you can call us names. Look at this moron. AIDS cutting cuts kill. PEPFAR saves lives. You know what saves lives? Not dipping your wick in a place and infecting your partner. That saves lives. How about a little sexual responsibility? How about a little responsibility as intravenous drug users and not inject yourself with dirty-ass needles? How about that? Yes, I know there are people who get contracted through no fault of their own. People in the medical profession especially. Also children who get it through transmission. And we're not here to castigate the victim or victims of this. And I'm not here to also blame people for their behavior. But stop blaming us for the behavior of other people. You stop dipping your wick where it doesn't belong, or put on a glove, and maybe this thing will stop like that. Wow. U.S. Deputy Chief of Mission, the Charge d'Affaires, has stepped down. Dana Brown, after her poor performance at the G20 summit. Francois Diego, ANC and South African News is breaking my brain. Yeah. Yes, Dana Brown, Deputy Chief of Mission, United States Embassy, has decided to retire from the Foreign Service. The Charge d'Affaires in the U.S. mission is retiring. Yep. They selected Mr. David Green, the current Deputy Chief of Mission in Abuja, to serve as Charge d'Affaires at the U.S. mission in South Africa. So he's coming from Nigeria to South Africa. That's not an unusual move. Thank you, George Steinberg, 350 Rand. Thank you very much for that. Yep. Yeah, clean needles and wear a glove. Yep. It's reliably understood that Miss Brown's mother has been unwell. Her decision to retire comes only 6 months after she took up the posting in South Africa. She's in her mid-50s and joined the service in 2002 years after joining the State Department. Yep. So there you go, folks. She's stepping down. This is a more accurate story in the Mail and Guardian. The one that I'm going to show you from News 24 is factually incorrect things. They say he's the chief of mission. He's not. He's the deputy chief of mission. Yeah, Africa appears to be a continent of beggars all wanting handouts. Yep, Val. Yep. Yeah, and then calling us names when we don't give you handouts. U.S. mission has thrived under her leadership. She's been a leader for a couple of months. It hasn't thrived. U.S. mission in South Africa has been silent. U.S. mission in South Africa has provided virtually no information to public in South Africa curious about the refugee program. U.S. mission in South Africa has done virtually nothing to advance U.S. interests since, well, I don't know, since Brigady left. Update, senior U.S. diplomat retires. There you go. United States Charge d'Affaires South Africa Dana Brown has resigned from the U.S. State Department with immediate effect. Well, this is a telling thing. The thing about her mother may be the truth because you don't have to resign. The State Department can reassign you back to the States on a humanitarian basis, and she could have gone home to check on her mother. So this sounds to me like she needed to work with her mother full time. Yep. Of course, Brigady left in November, but that's a matter of course. As I told people, South Africa's not had an ambassador since November, and everyone keeps saying it's Joel Pollak, Joel Pollak, Joel Pollak, Joel Pollak. Joel Pollak's name hasn't been for a nomination. Maybe it will be, but it hasn't been. So until he's been confirmed by the Senate, he's not the ambassador to South Africa. We have no ambassador to South Africa. We have a charge d'affaires. That's the number 2 in charge normally. Doesn't have to be. Sometimes it can be someone else. But the charge d'affaires is the person charged with covering the responsibility of running the U.S. mission and representing our interests. But they do not have credentials as an ambassador at the host country. That is not how it works. Well, the news from yesterday, of course, is Donald Trump ended PEPFAR, but the South African press acted as it was only them. No, it was global. It was global. Trump orders USAID fund shut down organization in South Africa. Well, it was the whole world. Don't just cry, me, me, me. It was the whole world. South Africa wasn't targeted. PEPFAR-funded HIV organization in South Africa received their funds through the United States Agency for International Development, woke up to letters that were sent overnight telling them that their grants have been ended permanently. PEPFAR, the President's Emergency Plan for AIDS, has an AIDS fund that was launched in 2003 to help fight in countries with HIV infections, such as South Africa. Yeah, well, 2003 emergency program. It's right there in the title. You know, this is what kills me, folks. This is what kills me. People can't even understand English. Emergency. Emergency. You don't go to the emergency room for your long-term radiation treatments if you have cancer. That's not where you get it. You go to oncology. You do not go to the emergency room for your neonatal care. You go to your gynecologist. You go to the emergency room for a wound. You go to the emergency room for a heart attack, for a stroke. You go to the emergency room for an acute crisis that's happening. Erica, hello. 70 Rand, thank you so much. Good to see you there, Erica. Yeah, that's what you go to the emergency room for. You don't go to the emergency room forever. You go there for short visits in a crisis. Well, guess what? The President's emergency program should be renamed the President's enduring program. It's actually planned, but whatever. So Ramaphosa condemns AfriForum's White House appeal over land rights. Well, I'm sorry, Comejo Mochela. First off, it wasn't an appeal over land rights. That's fake news. You're lying and distorting the story. Of course, it's the toilet paper of record, the independent line, so we shouldn't be surprised. And he didn't condemn AfriForum. Did you listen to the video? I listened to the video. It wasn't condemning. He basically said, no, we shouldn't be running abroad. We should be doing this here. We solve problems in South Africa, where we ignore everybody. 690,000, public comments on Bela. 90+% of them saying, don't do it. We don't want Bela. What's he do? Signs Bela. Gets his pen out. He signs Bela. By the way, it's a pen from France, from the Tulip Hotel. Yep. Actually, bad. That's why I went this. Anyway, so he signs that. Over 700,000 comments from the public against expropriation compensation. What's he do? Signs it. Yeah, okay, Cyril. So we solve our problems in South Africa, except that we don't. You do what you want to do. You have a minority, a plurality party now, and you still sign legislation that you know is unpopular because you're able to get through the last session. Give me a break. Yeah, Cyril, thank you very much. It's AfriForum's response that says it's ironic that Cyril's firing back at them for creating division. And I would agree, it is ironic. It is Ramaphosa who signed the anti-Afrikaans Bela Act. Well, look, okay, Kali, it's not simply anti-Afrikaans, it's anti-first language. It's anti-Venda, it's anti-Sotho, Southern and Northern Sotho. It's anti-Tswana, it's anti-Xhosa, it's anti-Nu, it's anti-Zulu, it's anti-every language. Anti-Portuguese, it's not simply anti-Afrikaans, my friend. Anti-Afrikaans Bela Act, an act that threatens the cultural existence of Afrikaans-speaking cultural communities. It's also Ramaphosa who signed the Expropriation Act. It is he who refuses to condemn slogans such as kill the Boer, and it is the same president who denies the existence of farm murders. All true, which makes it ironic that Cyril would blame AfriForum for division. The division being sown in South Africa is being done by race hustlers right now. They're the ones doing this. They're the ones doing that. Gary Buchner, why are you asking me a question while I'm giving the news? Hold your question and wait till I finish, please, and I'll be happy to answer your question. But you don't honestly expect me to come back 20 minutes later and answer your question or interrupt my news to do that. That's very attention-seeking. Please hold your question to the end, and I'll be happy to address it. We already had somebody whining that I wasn't doing the news, so we're doing the news. AfriForum hits back at treason remarks, accuses Ramaphosa of sowing division through the Bela Act and land expropriation. The Independent Line runs the story as well. Yep. Responding to the remarks, Kali Creel said their visit to the White House stemmed from frustrations with South African government's refusal to address their concerns. He blamed Ramaphosa and the ANC leaders for causing division through those programs. Yep, 100%. That's exactly right. Kali's correct. He's correct. Well, the Freedom Front Plus under Dr. Corne Mulder, who's yet to return my message, has come out in support of AfriForum's visit. Look at that. Look at that. Innocenta and Kanameng writes about this. The Freedom Front Plus has supported AfriForum's visit to the U.S. despite Ramaphosa's criticism. In an interview on ENC8, Freedom Front Plus leader Corné Mulder said AfriForum and Solidarity are free to go wherever they want. We're a democracy, and South African citizens have a right to travel internationally and make themselves heard. And that's what AfriForum and Solidarity are doing. I don't think we can prohibit anyone from doing so. It's within their capacity and their right to do that. I don't have a problem with it. Mulder endorsed their message. He said they made it clear they don't want South Africans to be punished. They don't want any steps taken against South African citizens. They asked the U.S. to keep South Africa as part of the AGOA agreement. And that's exactly what I said. That's what I said. But the media doesn't want to report that. That's the facts. They stood up for all South Africans, but all we're hearing is how, thank you, Watchman Stone, or J. LaRue. Thank you, J. LaRue. All we're hearing is that how they are only working in the interest of white farmers. That's not what they did. But that's what the lying media in South Africa says. That's what they say because it fits their narrative. It fits their narrative. Yep, that's the problem. So, thank you, Dr. Corné Mulder, for telling the truth. And thank you, Toilet Paper Record, Up Independent Life, for actually running the story. I'm shocked that you actually ran an objective story there. It's amazing. Well, here's the story from December last year when the Democratic Alliance MP, who is the Minister for Home Affairs, Leon Schreiber, said, we'll clear the visa backlog before the end of the year. This came on December 15th. Remember that? Yeah. Ahead of its Christmas deadline, the Home Affairs Department says it'll clear 94% of its visa backlog by the end of the year. Early in the year, Home Affairs Minister Leon Schreiber committed to clearing the decade-long backlog of more than 300,000 visa applications in his first order of business. Well, Home Affairs busy crowing about that, then shooting jets of water in OR Tambo in a place where there's no frickin' water, over top of Fly South Africa, like bringing in $5 a day tourists from China instead of, $2,000 a day tourists from U.S. and $1,500 a day tourists from U.K. We're not going to congratulate them for coming. No, we'll welcome the Chinese communists for coming here. Woo! Water cannons, yay! Home Affairs. Congratulations. We didn't hear anything from Patricia Little, the tourism minister, telling us what a great accomplishment was to get all these Chinese coming in, spending $5 a day at tuck shops. Woohoo! They're going to increase the economy in South Africa. Well done. Yeah. Ooh, boy. Yeah. Well done, Home Affairs. Doing such a great job. Home Affairs. Yeah, except maybe it's not. Your digital strategy is not working, says the Times Live. Wow. South Africans have taken to social media to express their frustration after a viral video surfaced showing a security guard at the Randburg Home Office using pepper spray. Using pepper spray on lawful people here, folks.
Go outside. Go outside.
Well, pepper spray. Things aren't going so well at Home Affairs. So, what happened? That guard has been removed. Home Affairs Minister Leon Schreiber says security guard at the Randburg office has been removed from his post after he allegedly pepper sprayed angry citizens. The video showed irate members of the public has gone viral, where a security guard is seen waving pepper spray as he demands members of the public go outside. I didn't see anybody threatening him. Look at that. Taking to X, Schreiber said he was horrified when he learned about the video on Thursday morning and that the action had since been taken. I was appalled upon receiving the video at 10:50 this morning. Investigation was launched, and by 5 p.m., visual question was removed. Well, that's all fine and dandy, but why are people upset? Because they can't get passports. Because the system's broken. People are waiting forever. Hope shattered. HIV support programs face uncertain future after funding cuts. Ladies and gentlemen, there's no uncertain future. You want charity from us. You want my grandchildren to pay debt that's 300% of what we borrowed so that we can give money to South Africa to take care of your HIV program. That's incredibly selfish and arrogant and self-centered. Earlier one of the hate wankers came on and didn't like my music and that song that someone wrote for me and it said it has megalomaniac vibes. Well, how about some megalomaniac vibes in South Africa? You got plenty of money in South Africa. The largest individuals and families in South Africa have over $30 billion. $30 billion in wealth. How about you get them to fill the $364 million gap the U.S. is leaving? Johann Rupert, $11 billion. Nicky Oppenheimer and his family, $9.5 billion. Koos Becker, Naspers, $3.1 billion. Patrice Motsepe, worth $3 billion. Michel Leroux, Capitec, $1.9 billion. And Christophe Wiesel, $1.6 billion. That's over $30 billion. They wouldn't even miss $300 million. That's 1% of their wealth. They could give up 1%. They'll make more than that in stock value next year. I suggest that you turn to South Africans if you want money instead of whining at Americans for taking our money back that we don't have, that we're borrowing to go in debt and pay interest on, which will be 300% of the value of what we borrowed by the time we pay it back in 30 years. Our grandchildren burdened with your HIV problem. You know, charity goes so far. The gravy train is over. The race hustling card won't work anymore. The white liberal guilt card has expired in 2025. Lifeline's Dreams initiative was a beacon of hope for a woman from the Vowel Triangle living with HIV, uplifting her spirit and fortifying her with the strength to remain both physically vibrant and emotionally empowered. Wow, physically vibrant, emotionally empowered. Wow, that's my job to keep her physically vibrant and emotionally empowered. No, that's her community. That's her people. We keep hearing about how South Africa is a sovereign nation. Well, is it? Then stop whining that we're taking the money away. It's our money. What the hell is going on over here? Jesus, leave me alone. Freaking constant. What's going on over here? Watch it be a phone call from the White House. No. Okay, something going on here. Something going on there at the Veterans Organization. Boy, the place is just can't leave it alone for 5 minutes. Sorry about that, folks. All right, yeah. So hey, you know, you're a sovereign nation. So sovereign yourself. Be sovereign. Stop whining because the U.S. doesn't give you free handouts anymore. Oh, we're a sovereign nation. We will not be bullied. Well, nobody's bullying you, but you're certainly taking our money. You're bullying us. You're trying to. Can't really bully the big guy on the block, but you're trying. Well, the director's body has slammed the political meddling in the South African Airways appointment. The Institute of Directors of South Africa has raised concerns about allegations of political interference in appointing the chief executive at South African Airways. It urged the government to consider recommendations when appointing directors. Professor Parmi Natasan referred to recent media reports alleging that the transport minister recommended a less qualified candidate. Well, yes. Barbara Creasy, the communist, interfered with the process, apparently, according to media reports. And as a consequence, the least qualified candidate was picked. So it was just bogus nonsense, typical sort of thing. Well, make sure we get a couple white people apply so we can say we looked at everybody, but of course we won't give them the job. Yep, that's what happened there. Most qualified. In this case, it was foreigners. Let's get a few foreigners in here. So we actually looked at foreigners and we tried to make a genuine effort. We'll hire our caterer who's a moron, incompetent, and incapable of doing the job. And things will go well. No, they're not going well. A shortage of forces. A shortage of money forces some soldiers to pay for boots from their own pocket. Now, the South African National Defense Union, yes, that's right, folks, I didn't make that up. Doranthia Hillebrand, thank you for your membership. I'm not making this up. The South African Army has a union. Yep, I've railed about this for years. How can you have a union? Unions do strikes. As a military and police, you cannot strike. You have a responsibility to the public. This isn't, working at Chicken Lickin'. This isn't working at Cape Town Fish Market. This isn't working at Steers. You have a real job that requires full-time commitment to protect the nation, whether you're a cop or you're a soldier. Having a union is the dumbest thing ever. The fact that the South African government allowed soldiers to unionize is asinine. But in this case, they make a valid point. They don't have any money for boots. The soldiers taking it out of their own pocket. Sandu National Secretary Piki Greff, speaking to South Africa FM's Morning Brief, said, I can confirm many soldiers complained to us over the past year that they have to buy their own boots because there are no boots in stock. There's a shortage of boots in the Defense Force, and members forked out between 1,500 and 2,000 Rand per pair of boots. They're simply told there are no boots. Why are there no boots? Because there's no money. Why is there no money? Because they spent it in their pockets. They stole the money. The ANC has stolen the money for decades, and they only spend 0.7% of GDP on their military to begin with. Well, speaking of the military, the South African National Defense Force general who called out the military for, not the military, but the government for their failure to fund the military. There's our favorite digital journalist from IOL, Comelo Mochela. Says comments correct. Defense and Military Veterans Portfolio Committee chairperson Dakota Lachote has admitted that what Lieutenant General Unchaveni Mpapa told politicians about the SANDF being turned into Mickey Mouse Force was correct. But unfortunately, his timing was wrong. He shouldn't have done this when bodies of the soldiers being brought back. It was on the news. So he's correct? Okay, well, he is correct. Nice to see them admit it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, your favorite race hustler in chief, your favorite former member of the executive of the economic freedom fighters, your favorite little hustler is going on the radio. He's going to have his own show. Yeah, and Ndlozi will be on the radio. Morning show. Yep. We're going to talk with each other. Ndlozi gears up for radio show. Former EFF MP Mbususeni Ndlozi is gearing up for his new role as a radio host on Power 98.7. He'll be hosting the Power Talk show starting March 3rd from 9 a.m. to noon. In a video shared on social media, Ndlozi can be seen rehearsing with his team, preparing for the big launch. He emphasized the importance of dialogue and critical thinking. Dialogue and critical thinking. How are you suddenly going to have dialogue and critical thinking? You have no critical thinking. We've seen that from the time you spent in the EFF. All you do is racially assault white South Africans. That's all you do, buddy, in Ndlozi. Wow, this should be an interesting program. I'm sure you'll get a big audience to see what he's up to. Meanwhile, Turkey's imprisoned Kurdish leader, now in his 70s, Abdullah Öcalan, is calling for the PKK, the Kurdish Workers' Party, to stop their war, to drop their arms. Reino Steenkamp, thank you for your 70 rand. Oh, that one hurt. Thank you for your 70 rand. Abdullah Öcalan. Oh, and there's Bertie van Antwerpen. Oh, from Antwerpen. Okay, thank you for your 14 rands first super chat. Yep, thank you so much for that. So, Öcalan, jailed Kurdish militant leader, calls on his followers to disarm and end a 40-year conflict with Turkey. Wow. An imprisoned Kurdish militant leader urges followers on Thursday to give up their weapons, opening an opportunity to defuse a conflict that has killed tens of thousands in recent decades. Abdullah Öcalan, who is in his mid-70s, is leader and founder of the outlawed Kurdistan Workers' Party, known as the PKK. Also called for the group to disband, for its allied factions to disarm after 40 years of violence. All groups must lay down their arms and PKK must dissolve itself, he said in a statement written from the island prison off the coast of Istanbul, where he's been held since 1999, when he's captured in Kenya by Turkish intelligence officers. He also called on his movement to use democratic means to achieve their aims. Now, a little backstory on the Öcalan kidnapping. I was stationed in Italy at the time, and I was a counterintelligence commander there. And Öcalan was captured because the United States, we transported him from Kenya back to Italy, and he was transported from there to Turkey. And we had 10,000 protesters show up at the gates of our Caserma de Italy in Vicenza in a very tense situation in which they were threatening violence because we helped capture this guy. Yep, never forget that. That's around the same time, shortly after we had the cable car incident, which a out-of-control reserve Marine pilot snapped a cable car by jockeying and playing the fool, flying too low, and snapped a cable car, killing many people who were going up to a ski lift. It was horrible stuff. But Öcalan, and we had a protest for that too. Öcalan, I'll never forget that. So he's been in jail for, 26 years now. Guyver UK, 10 pounds. Thank you so much for that. Good afternoon to you. Thank you for watching the program. China, well, just recently saw the Independent Line claim that China is a force for global peace at the G20. We're here for global peace. We're making a difference, despite the fact that they're threatening people in the South China Seas. Remember that? What is with this shirt, man? It's not straight. There we go. Good Lord, it's all crooked there. Anyway, so it's driving me nuts. I feel a little anal retentive there. I'll have to take the shirt off in a minute because it's just being irritating. So China threatening its neighbors in the Asia-Pacific region. They're flexing their military muster in the region to show that they will not wait for the Trump administration to decide how it will want to counter Beijing. Well, we shouldn't be wanting countering them militarily. Why is China upping the ante? 3 Chinese naval ships, including a cruiser with 112 missile tubes, showed up in the waters near Australia this month, only announcing plans to fire artillery for practice after the exercises started. A few days later, on Monday, Chinese forces held live fire drills in the Gulf of Tonkin after Vietnam pressed its territorial claims in the Gulf. Meanwhile, Chinese military aircraft buzz the skies near Taiwan almost daily. Colette Ruiz, 70 rand. Hello, Colonel. Thank you for all the info. You're very welcome, Colette. Thank you for the super chat. Yeah, so the Chinese are aggressors. The Chinese are not global peacemakers. The Chinese are global military instigators, and they must be boxed in the ears. It's time for a PK to the Chinese to get them under control because they are threatening global commerce. They are threatening Australia, they're threatening New Zealand, they're threatening Taiwan, they're threatening Vietnam, the Philippines, Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore. They are a dangerous actor on the world stage. Korea, Japan, they are threatening the entire region. And they are out of control. Firing live ammunition towards Sydney Harbor. Yes, I know they were well at sea, but the direction of fire was Sydney. Taiwan detains a ship and Chinese crew after they cut an underseas cable. Just like they're doing with the Russians in the Baltic, they're doing it in Asia too, trying to disrupt global lines of communication. Chinese Coast Guard declares incident national security matter and possible case of Chinese espionage. Sabotage, excuse me. Taiwan detained a cargo ship and its 8 Chinese crew members after an undersea fiber cable was severed and a stepped-up effort to police such incidents, which are often seen as part of China's pressure campaign targeting the self-ruled island. Taiwan's Coast Guard said the incident was being handled in a national security matter and the deliberate sabotage hadn't been ruled out. A string of such episodes has called attention to Taiwan's vulnerability as it works to secure internet services to keep the island online in the event of a Chinese invasion or blockade. Similar incidents elsewhere, including the cutting of data sea cables beneath the Baltic, have brought global attention and security concerns surrounding critical infrastructure. Joe Niemann, thank you for your membership. Joe, I thought you've been a member for a long time. That doesn't tell me how many months you've been a member. I guess you just became a member. Yeah, so China is, everyone's talking about how wonderful China is. China is destroying data cables and power lines in the Baltic, in Asia, and threatening its neighbors, firing live ammunition at the island of Taiwan, at the Australian coast. This is an out-of-control instigator, a troublemaker, and it's time to start boxing them in. The world needs to quit giving China free pass. In Österreich, in Austria, a coalition of anti-far-right parties has finally formed a government after the leading party, the OVP, failed to form a government. Far-right election winner shut out as deal reached. Despite the fact that the Austrian Freedom Party got 28.8% of the vote, they're not part of the government. The conservative Austrian People's Party, the center-left Social Democrats, and liberal Neos agreed for a program for coalition after what Christian Stocke, who is expected to become chancellor, called perhaps the most difficult negotiations in the government history of our country. Johan Hyman, thank you so much. I'm going to have to do a members-only chat. That's going to have to come up, so I have to do that. All these people joining. The deal comes shortly after U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance scolded European politicians in a Munich address for effectively blackballing far-right parties from power despite their breakthroughs at the ballot box. Yep. So Austrians have managed to keep the conservatives out of government by calling them far-right. Well, Volodymyr Zelenskyy is busy coming to Washington to kiss Donald Trump's ring. The minerals agreement is negotiated recent days could open up Ukraine's vast mineral wealth to the United States. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy will meet with U.S. President Trump in Washington on Friday to sign a minerals deal as Kiev seeks to regain American support. It will be the first meeting between the two leaders since Trump took office in January. Under the previous administration, Zelenskyy received billions of dollars worth of U.S. weaponry and vocal backing on the world stage. The minerals agreement negotiated in recent days would open on Ukraine's vast mineral wealth in the United States, but does not include U.S. security guarantees. It gives Washington the right to recoup some of the billions of dollars it's given to Kiev through a reconstruction investment fund tied to the sale of Ukraine's rare earth minerals. Well, I think it's a bit gauche, but it's better than just giving money all the time. UK's director of DFID has quit. UK's International Development Minister quits after foreign aid cut. The British Minister responsible for International Development quit Friday in the wake of Prime Minister Keir Starmer's decision earlier this week to ramp up defense spending by slashing the foreign aid budget. In a letter to Starmer, which he posted on social media, Annalisa Dodds resigned as International Development Minister and Minister for Women, saying that there were no easy paths to increasing defense spending, but she disagreed with the decision to cut overseas aid. Yeah, well, too bad for you. Too bad for you. So aid is being cut all over. It's not just the United States. The Germans are cutting aid. Well, we've cut aid. The Brits. Widespread avalanche concerns, folks, for British Columbia and Alberta. The potential for dangerous and destructive avalanches in the backcountry of British Columbia and Alberta this weekend has prompted Canada's National Public Avalanche Safety Organization to issue a special public warning. After a season of relatively stable avalanche conditions, we are entering a period of dramatic change, and it's important to adapt mindsets to reflect this. Wow. A firm slab of snow is developed over layers, leading to precarious conditions that may trigger avalanches, according to the organization. Careful out there if you're skiing in Canada. A federal judge has cleared the way for Donald Trump to fire his DEI employees in the intel community. Federal judge on Thursday lifted his block on the Trump administration, letting it fire intelligence community employees whose jobs were focused on diversity, equity, and inclusion. Judge Anthony Trenga refused a temporary restraining order and a preliminary injunction, but acknowledged that workers caught in the firings were in a difficult situation. They had the misfortunes of being last assigned to a DEI program. He did give the employees until Monday to apply for Trump administration federal employee buyout program. So, wow, that's interesting. So the people who are being fired for DEI now been given a grace period of today and the weekend to ask for the buyout. Well, that's pretty generous. Ladies and gentlemen, America is not a capitalist country. You may think we are. We're not. Subsidies for sugar, subsidies for maize, ethanol, the nonsense of corporate welfare. This is not a capitalist country. We may have free market capitalism in our minds, and it may be at the heart of our desires, but it is not in practice. Adam Smith, David Ricardo would blanch if the United States called itself a capitalist society. You can see Julius Malema and other poorly educated morons whine about capitalism and hyper-capitalism. That's not what exists here. We have a state, we have a nanny state that spends money on people. Ladies and gentlemen, of 330 million Americans, 70 million live off of government teat on Medicaid. In a stretch of rural Kentucky that borders West Virginia's voters reliably send Republicans to Congress. Representative Hal Rogers represents the area, did not even face a Democratic challenger in 2024. More than 40% of the population relies on Medicaid, a public health insurance plan for low-income Americans. There's a map showing you how intense it is. In California, in Arizona, in Kentucky, as much as over 50% of the population relies on government handouts for medical insurance. Wow. 2/3 of the population in the Central Valley of California is on Medicaid. This is why we are broke. Medicaid. Medicaid is destroying this country from within. And this is all consequence of never having an actual medical health system and then the government interfering in the marketplace. So it's not a capitalist country. This is socialism. We have the entire population of South Africa sits on handouts coming from taxpayers. This is why I have to pay 6.25% of my income to Medicaid, Medicare, for coverage I don't get, paying for other people's health care. Trump to sign executive order making English the official language. I mentioned that already. And the Social Security Administration announced significant workforce reductions. The Social Security Administration is set to lay off a large number of employees, with workers being offered incentives up to $25,000 for voluntary separation. They'll soon implement agency-wide organizational restructuring that will include significant workforce reductions. Number of trans troops far lower than estimated. We've been lied to by the Biden regime. Surprise, surprise, surprise. We were lied to that the military is full of transgender people. We must celebrate the diversity of transgenders. Now, there shouldn't be anybody transgenders in the military. It's a mental illness, according to medical experts, not me. According to medical experts, saying for years it is a mental health issue, transgenderism, gender dysphoria, and people with mental health issues shouldn't be in uniform. We fire missiles and rockets and planes and tanks, oh my. It's a dangerous profession. You shouldn't mean people with mental health issues near those sorts of things. The Defense Department now admits that just 4,240 service members, or 0.2% of those in uniform, have a diagnosis for gender dysphoria. And a lot of those in the reserve forces. They're not even on active duty. Yep. Wow. Now, we were told before there were 15,000, endlessly, breathlessly told there were 15,000 transgender people in the military, and we have to have compassion for them. Well, you can have compassion for transgender people, but you shouldn't lie about the data. Iowa lawmakers on the same issue have removed gender identity protections. Iowa's legislature passed a bill on February 27th to remove gender identity protections from the state civil rights code, prompting protests in the state capitol from opponents who said it would expose people who identify as transgender to discrimination. Well, good there. Rising cost of travel is causing less affluent Americans to alter their travel plans. And that'd be people like me. Can't afford to go places. So international travel remains strong, but some are scrimping on U.S. vacations. Some families are getting priced out of their spring break. Rising costs for leisure travel are weighing on a growing share of would-be vacationers to delay spring and summer bookings. Yep. Share of Americans citing personal financial reasons, overall costs of the reasons why they aren't traveling hit 12-month highs, according to market research from Future Partners, which polled 4,000 travelers in January. So a lot of people are changing their travel plans or not taking. The average round-trip air ticket during the spring break period from mid-March to mid-April is $820 for domestic flights and $1,440 for international destinations, up 2% from last year. Julie Drake typically travels with her husband and children over spring break. This year, they'll stay home. The 40-year-old nursing consultant from Rockford, Illinois, hoped to make use of a discount at Disney Cruise and started looking for options last year. But airfare for four averaged $3,000 for flights from Chicago to San Diego or Miami. Well, that kind of puts the kibosh on that, doesn't it? It's too much money. State Department has terminated a contract for a Catholic group that was suing it. Well, that's the end of that lawsuit. The State Department ended a contract with a Catholic group that sued it, which should trigger the dismissal of the lawsuit, the government lawyers said in a court filing on February 27th, which would be yesterday. Officials immediately terminated a contract with the U.S. Conference for Catholic Bishops, which is responsible for refugee resettlement services. Refugee resettlement services. You've been waiting to hear that word for an hour. You've heard it now. Refugee resettlement services. These are one of the groups that were providing services, and their contract was cut. And they're suing because we're not letting refugees in the country right now. Too bad for you. Catholics, shame on your church, shame on your charities. Well, here's a misandric, whining Joanne Lippman in the Wall Street Journal. Can white men finally stop complaining? For 50 years, we've been hearing from men who feel threatened by the gains of women and minorities. Now the manosphere is in charge. The victim mentality has to go. Well, your misandry can go, you man-hating vibe. We don't really care what you have to say. For 50 years, men have been complaining? No, well, that's because for 50 years, men have been excluded. Get over yourself. Gosh, only women can be victims. Only people of color can be victims. Only gay people can be victims. Anybody can be a victim of discrimination, you moronic, misandric misanthrope. Good Lord. Stop your whining. Good Lord. It's like South Africa. White people can't complain because they're privileged. What a crock of shit. If you discriminate against, you discriminate against. It doesn't matter what your ethnicity, your sexual orientation, your origin. Oh, this is really pissing me off. Quit texting me. Sorry, that phone. It's just constant messages over here. Go away. Go away. All right, I'm back now. That's the end of the news, folks. Thanks for this. I know that some people left. We had a peak of 782. They must have run off to Ronaldo's program. I'm guessing he must be broadcasting today. That must explain where everybody went. Thank you for the 650 plus people still with us. We appreciate that. No, they didn't go to Ronaldo. He doesn't have a very big audience. All right, so I guess they didn't like the news. All right, there was a gentleman who asked me a question earlier about my interest in South Africa, I think it was. Could you please re-ask the question in chat if you're still here? I'd be happy to answer it now that we've gotten through that. WhatsApp groups are full and people want to join on another channel. Ronell, thank you for that statement. That doesn't really help me. People want to join on another channel. Join what on another channel? What do you mean? Join a WhatsApp group that another channel sponsoring? Yeah, Yakub Hassan, I didn't see that, but Corny Mulder's a sharp guy. I'm sure he handled it well. What do you mean by that, Ronell? I don't understand. I don't understand. And by the way, I think it's very unfair for people to expect me to have 85 WhatsApp groups for U.S. refugee program. Okay? You want the Telegram link? Sure, I'll give you the Telegram link. That's not a problem. There it is. Copy. Here's the Telegram. I mean, it's not too much to ask people to install Telegram. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. You can block your number so people can't see it. You can come up with a pseudonym. That's the most secure thing, and 220,000 people can join that group. So I encourage people to go over there. These groups are not chat groups. They're just for releasing public information that's available. Jan Kronje. Thank you for your membership. When the percentage below the poverty line race is compared in South Africa, then white people have more people among us below the poverty line than black people. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Cohen. It doesn't make any sense. Oh, Ronald's looking for the Telegram link. Thank you, Ronald. That's why I had to ask. I didn't understand what you're asking for. Yeah, Pierre, so Colonel, how long will it be before we start seeing arrests being made in USA? I know. Well, I would like to see arrests now. Brandon Johnson and Michelle Wu, the mayors of Chicago and Boston, respectively, should be in leg irons right now. He asked for a letter from Charles. Okay. McLovin Austin. Actually, you can trace it. And does every weapon have identification serials? But there are also components within a weapon. Serial weapons. I'm very confident you're wrong. What did Armagon say? Matt, hey, I saw Pam Bondi release some Epstein files. What do you think will happen to these people involved? Nothing, because it was nothing burger. It was information we pretty much already knew. And I'm not really. Why are some people so obsessed with? It's like the O.J. Simpson. Who cares? I mean, who cares? I don't care. I don't care about the Epstein files. What's going to change? He's dead. Do you think they're actually going to push charges against Bill Clinton? If we didn't go after Hillary Clinton, who betrayed this country and sold us down the river to the Iranians and Chinese and Russians, why would we go after Bill Clinton? Not going to happen. Nothing's going to happen, guys. Even if they find them red-handed, they're not going to be prosecuted. Nothing will happen. I don't know what the obsession with the Epstein files are. It's like, X-Files. People were mystified by the X-Files. It wasn't particularly good entertainment. What's this? What's Armageddon and this guy are going back and forth. Where I live, we have almost zero racial issues and hardly any crime. Yeah, Joe, exactly. Visitors always come here and say it feels like stepping into time before South Africa went mad. I heard many times over Trump does not have to action the refugee program as merely executive orders protection. I don't understand your comment, Dr. Clue. No, Trump doesn't have to take any action, but he directed the State Department to come up with a program. I mean, you can't come in the country unless you have a program. I mean, you got to set the conditions for it. You got to have people in place. You got to understand it. So I'm not really sure what your point is. Mr. Punisher. Suspect that many of the USA on Medicaid isn't eating healthy and doing it. Well, that's true, Erica. But Llewellyn Nell, welcome to you. Good night. You left at 12:01. You left just moments before I finished the news. I thought Canada triggered avalanche to prevent people from being in danger. They do that sometimes. Sir, is there any fresh news on NASA landing the Artemis on the moon on the 3rd of March? No, I haven't seen anything on that. Of course, the Artemis crew, we know, is the most diverse crew ever. The main mission of the Artemis crew was to put a vagina and a person of sufficient skin pigmentation on the moon. That was the most important part of the Artemis mission. It wasn't that we went back to the moon after 5 decades. It said that we put a woman on the moon and we put a person of color on the moon. Woohoo! Yes, that's so critical for human development. I mean, that's so important that we do that. Okay. How about we put the first eunuch on the moon? That's probably important too, the first goat. These people are idiots. They're supposed to be doing space exploration, not diversity and equity inclusion. Internet error message, only me. I had to restart. YouTube will never change, I guess. I don't know about that, Mr. Punisher, what happened there. Thank you, Reno Steenkamp, for the 5 memberships you gave out. Dr. Clue stays in Bolito, and the racial discrimination here is so bad, the aggressive municipalities making our lives hell. People die in avalanche every, sometimes more than others, especially snowmobilers. Yeah, there you go. Tessa Fundameva, welcome to you. The G-Man. You try looking for previous videos and have to look there. I did not. What are you looking for, G-Man? I didn't think a few months ago this country would be so racist. Well, it is. Inkwell Odyssey. That's why technology like Starlink is better than traditional cable system. Well, yes and no. You can disrupt Starlink's signal. Very easy. I fear for the people of Taiwan, but I kind of want South African communists to finally see how barbaric CCP is. Yep. So they cheated in Germany, much like they did in France. Yep. Okay. Ranger Jakes, Kurtz, Holden Caulfield. I'm trying to go back to that gentleman's question. Colette, there's the super chat. Abe Grayling, Chantel. Erica. SA Farm Life. Millennial literally threatened my father and his own business after an illegal strike. Of course, I'm not surprised. I'm sorry to hear that. St. Andre. Whoa, St. Andre. Welcome to you. Victor Hugo. Wow, are you writing Les Miserables? Victor Hugo. Middle-class neighborhoods will be targeted around Pose will use the pension funds until it's finished. Yep, then it'll all fall apart. It was 36. Loretta Foncel. When I was in police, both me and my husband ended up buying our own bulletproof. I'm not surprised, Loretta. I'm sorry to hear that. Yep. Okay. They're on a big recruitment drive for the military. For what? They have no money to feed their troops. All right, what else we got here? Trump knew the crap was going to hit the fan for white people in South Africa. That's why he planted the seed of refugee status. Nothing to do about land confiscation if the grant money runs out. Well, that's your opinion, Victor Hugo. It's a very, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't go back to 36. Won't go back that far. So hopefully that gentleman has popped in here with his question again. Or did he leave? Let's see his question. Rabid Bunny. Already pushed for that law 2 years ago. I believe it's in final stages. Which law is that? You're welcome, Frank Bruns. Good luck answering all those questions. Yeah. Good night. No, Comey won't be held accountable. Was the lady with that awesome Afrikaans song at the start of your show? Oh, that's Giselle. Giselle is from Grootfontein in Namibia. She grew up there. She was best friends with Beata, whatever her name is, the one who's married to Adam Levine from Maroon 5. They were best friends growing up. That one became a Victoria's Secret model, and Giselle became a singer. And she lives in South Africa in Pretoria, and she sings in Afrikaans. Yeah, that's Giselle. Lovely lady. She's a mom with a 5-year-old. Nice little kid. Precocious. El Jose. Okay. Tessa wants to know what my opinion of AfriForum going to the White House is. Well, I've mentioned that many times. You must have missed it, but I'll mention it again. I just want to make sure if that gentleman, Joy Scott's here, did that gentleman come back with his question? Arno Flock, you came in late. I've already answered that question. My view on her leaving probably is tied to her mother being ill, or it's an excuse. I'm not sure. But that's fine. She wasn't doing anything successful there anyway. Okay. Okay, what was the question I just said I was going to answer? Sorry. Yeah, people are obsessed with sex and gossip. You're right about that. Wow, Tessa. What's your opinion after forming the White House? Well, Tessa, I've done videos on it. interviews. They weren't my opinion, but they were interviews. I've shared my opinion. My opinion is that AfriForum is a private organization. You have freedom of speech ostensibly in South Africa. You have freedom of association, freedom of travel. They came to America. They asked for the U.S. government not to punish South Africans, not to cancel AGOA. But if they're going to punish South Africa, to punish the people responsible for it. That's what they asked for. That seems reasonable to me. What I think is that it's comical that the South African government runs around and talks about how the U.S. is not being diplomatic and we're violating the norms of diplomacy when it's the ANC who picked up the telephone and called Elon Musk, who's not in the State Department, to ask him to intervene with Trump. That was highly inappropriate, and it was very much a violation of the Vienna Convention's standards and norms, yet they run to the press and claim that we're doing it. No, we didn't do that. You did it. And then they send a delegation without having gone through our embassy in Hatfield requesting permission and an office call in the States. They just send them on a plane over to the States, and then they demand an office call. And the reason they stay for the office call is to straighten Trump out because he's wrong, and we don't want the misinformation being spread. Well, there's no misinformation. Trump is not wrong, and your arrogance is not helping. Excuse me, I got to sneeze here. So they come here and they can't even get an Uber ride, let alone an office call with any legislators in D.C. That should tell you something. Harriet von Josfeld, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. That should tell you something, folks. The fact that they cannot get an office call with Democrats, let alone Republicans in Washington, D.C. The ANC is pariah. They are persona non grata in Washington, D.C. right now. And it's because of their own actions. Every day they insult America. They go on, we will not be bullied. America's racist. Rani Lamola, Cyril Ramaphosa, Herman Mashaba, who's not even in government, is attacking AfriForum and Solidarity for coming here. They're private organizations. They're allowed to come here. They can do what they want. So Tessa, my view is that it's interesting. The ANC, ironically, they think people don't remember history. The ANC went to London, Paris, Amsterdam, Berlin, Washington, D.C. to demand sanctions against South Africa. Reno Steenkamp with a big super chat coming in there. Woo! Thank you for that, Reno. It's sad to say, sad how many of our own people, young and old, here are here who do not realize what the whole refugee program is about. I assume they are just seeing our local news, which is fake news. The advantage of the proposal Trump, if it happens. Yeah, no, I'm with you, Reno. Thank you for that massive super chat, by the way. Hang on a second. I got to get to my tab crashed again. This has been a feature of YouTube going on now for over a month. Don't know why. Thank you for that super chat. That's incredible. That's huge. You can pop a vein with silent sneezes. Just let it rip. Yeah. Ian said, yeah, no, you're right there, Reno Steenkamp. That's exactly the problem, my friend. That's exactly what's going on here. The South African government and the media there are painting a false picture. And this is why, why we need to keep growing this channel so people can find the truth. They can come in here and actually hear the truth. There's no, I'm not a politician in the South African government. I have nothing to gain from my political constituency because I don't have a political constituency. The only constituency I have is my viewers here. So, folks, Randall, you're right. It's sad how many of our own people, young and old here, do not realize what the whole refugee program is all about. Assume they're just seeing local news. Yeah, so let me just rubbish some of the claims since you put that big super chat up there. Let me rubbish some of the claims that have been taking place in South Africa. Number one, you will not be living in camps when you come to America. Do you think we're going to put South Africans in tents, in camps? We didn't put the 160,000 Afghans in tents. They didn't go in tents. We took them in just days. We managed to take in more in 2 or 3 weeks from Afghanistan than we take in an entire year normally, and we didn't stick them in tents. And people lying to you, you'll be in FEMA tents. Do they even know what FEMA is? FEMA is the Federal Emergency Management Agency. Their job is to respond to natural disasters. Refugees are not a natural disaster. They have no legal authority over refugees. It's not even comical. It's just stupid, nonsensical for that to even be made as a claim. The other one is that, well, you'll be poor in America. There's no work. Are you serious? Unemployment's below 4% in this country. That's full employment. We have 13 million jobs that are sitting empty right now. People ask about skills. Well, my skills, when can I use my skills? I'm like, God, we have every skill, every occupation on the planet is in America. Everything from ditch diggers to coders. It's ridiculous. Yeah, but we'll be treated poorly. America's systemic racist. Okay, well, first off, your implication is it's racist against people of color. Most of the people who would take up this offer will not be people of color, although we're all people of color, but they'll be whites essentially. So white people are going to treat them in a racist fashion, other white people. It's not impossible, but it's stupid. It's implausible to say the least. What else are they claiming? Well, I can't go because I'm too old. Well, that's horse manure. Who told you that? Refugee program has nothing to do with age. 92 too. Doesn't matter. You're a refugee because your life is in danger. You're being persecuted. That's why you're being offered this generous offer. Well, I'll be all on my own. I'll be stuck out there. They'll stick me someplace. There are 300 contracted. One of them we just saw is suing from the Catholic Relief Agency. There are 300 plus NGOs and organizations that resettle refugees across the United States. We have resettled successfully 3.1 million refugees from Myanmar, from Vietnam, from Laos, from Yemen, from Gaza, from Venezuela, Haiti, Cuba, and all over the world, Afghanistan, in the past 45 years, 3.1 million people. Program works. It's there. So these people know what they're talking. Well, you need a lawyer. You don't need a lawyer. Who told you that? They're liars. They're liars. They're liars. They're liars. They're liars. Well, we have to pay someone to get on a list. There's no list. There's no list to get on. Do not fall for the scamsters. You're not on a list. If you hear the word list, just walk the other way. Walk the other way. As Steven Tyler said, walk this way. Yeah, walk the other way, buddy. Walk the other way. If people are taking your money to process paperwork for you, well, you're a sucker. What paperwork needs to be processed? Can you tell me? What's the program that's telling you what paperwork you need? There is no program, so you don't know what you need. I can tell you probably need key documents like on any other thing. You probably need a birth certificate, if you've got that, and passports, identity cards, things like that, And so, look, but you shouldn't be paying for this. There's no program of record. No program of record. The law exists, and the program did exist, and it took care of people coming from Darfur, coming from Haiti, coming from Cuba. The program exists, and that system's all in place. But that's been suspended since January 20th. A judge just told Trump, Jamal Whitehead told Trump he had to reopen that program. But that will be one on appeal by the Trump administration because that judge is overreaching. He's an activist judge. So, people stop believing the BS that you're hearing in the news. I don't know how many times I have to tell people this. My sympathy is getting very low for people listening to fake news or listening to people on YouTube that don't know what they're talking about. Now, how do you make that distinction? Well, you come here. I tell you what I know, and you don't believe me. So you go to the sources I tell you to go to. Go to the Department of State. Go to the White House. But make sure you read everything. Don't read the first line and go, aha, yes, it is true. I need a lawyer. No, that's not true. That's the wrong program. First off, this is not asylum. That's the big lie being told by South Africans. It's not asylum. And second, you're not an immigrant. Yes, in effect, you are immigrating to America, but you're not coming as an immigrant. That's a legal status. You're coming as a refugee if you're under this program. And refugee is very specific, ladies and gentlemen, very specific. And it's the most generous way to get into this country. It doesn't matter if you're rich, if you're poor, if you're gay, you're straight, you're brown, you're black, you're white, you're blue, you're Jewish, you're Muslim, Christian. It does not matter. What matters is you're a persecuted class of people like homosexuals in Syria who will be dropped off of roofs to your death if we don't get you out. Therefore, we get you out and generously let you settle in this country where you can marry your partner, same sex. And we don't give a flip. Well, most of us don't care. Right. So it's getting old, folks, the nonsense. Let me go back. I haven't pulled this sheet out in a few days. Here it is. This is the U.S. law. And people are telling you, yeah. No, stop. If you don't do your own research, watch my videos. The answers are there. You don't have to listen to me. You can go check my facts, check the receipts. If I misstate something, I'll correct it. But to date, no one has corrected me on anything I've said on any of this because none of it's been wrong. So, asylum, one status, refugee is another. A refugee is, under United States law, a refugee is someone who is located outside the United States, is of special humanitarian concern to the United States, and demonstrates that they were persecuted or that they fear persecution due to race, religion, nationality, political opinion, or membership in a particular social group. You must not be firmly resettled in another country. Therefore, if you're a refugee status in Ireland, you can't come to America. And you must be admissible to the United States. So your biggest concern there is if you're a criminal. But bear in mind that our immigration officials who review your cases and look at your refugee application are well aware that oftentimes governments put fake information or put things in their databases to mislead. And we have the ability to sniff that out. As a counterintelligence officer in my past who did investigations of people for derogatory information, I can tell you we can smell bullshit a mile away. Meerkat says if sanctions at ANC and CR will attack AfriForum. Well, that's their problem. They came here. It was their choice to come here and ask for that. They would have been attacked in any case. It doesn't matter whether they came to DC or not. AfriForum and And Solidarity would have been attacked by Cyril Ramaphosa regardless of their actions. Thank you, Rainer, for that super chat. Okay. Did the gentleman ever come back and ask that question? Solidarity says that the program will only be good for a small number of Congress, not the majority. Miloseka Pfeiffer, maybe they did. I didn't see that. Thank you, Fiona, for that 50 rand. 7 days, 10 farm attacks, 4 murders, 0 press coverage. I haven't covered it because I haven't seen the farm attacks. I haven't got any reports from anybody. Usually people flood me, and if you've sent me something, I missed it. Solidarity says that. I didn't see them saying that. They said that they think most Afrikaners won't take it up. That's different than what you said. Maybe you heard that quote exactly somewhere. I didn't hear it. I asked them in the interview what they thought, and they said they think most Afrikaners won't take up the offer. And I will reiterate that what they said. I think most Afrikaners won't take it up. But that doesn't change the fact that a lot of people are very interested. So, anyway, do not give any personal information. Yeah, there you go. Why would anybody give... Okay, what are you talking about, G-Man? No one asked for personal information on this channel. I don't want your personal information. What are you getting at here, G-Man? What's going on there? Miss Gomez has a welcome ad out for you. Who is Miss Gomez? What are you talking about? Altruism says, what's the figure how many want to go to the USA? Well, nobody knows altruism because somebody intervened with the South African Chamber of Commerce and told them to stop telling the public how many people had expressed interest. At that point, 17,000 people, representing probably north of 50,000 people, had expressed interest just to the South African Chamber of Commerce, which has nothing to do with the refugee program. The U.S. government has not released any information. In fact, they falsely claimed that no one had actually approached them. We know that's a lie. Their servers also melted down. I can tell you that in the 3 weeks plus I've been doing this, we've had a few million views. And while many of the people are the same people every time in the poll, every time we gain new people, and I can tell you easily, I've had over 40 to 50,000 inquiries from my live streams and from the email and from the Twitter and from everything that's been just coming at me full speed. And I am not in the U.S. government. I'm not a member of the U.S. government. I'm just a person who does content creation, independent journalist, and people are asking me. So there is a lot of interest in this. I would hope that nobody feels the need to leave South Africa, but I'm not going to lie to people. Yeah, Erica never stayed in a tent. Yep. But you came to South Africa as a refugee. Ben says, America don't care. Don't care about what, Ben? What happens if we can't pay off debt? Small amount when we are told we're going. Well, that's not our problem, Louisa. No, that's what Ben's saying. Yeah, we don't care. You got debt in South Africa. It's not our problem. That's the bank's problem in South Africa. That's for them to sort out. What do we care? Do you think that the people who lived in Khartoum who fled to Darfur, that's an exaggeration because nobody fled from Khartoum, but do you think people who lived in Darfur who fled to Chad, who had a bank account and owed money for something, do you think that money's ever going to be recouped by these banks? No, we don't care. Nothing to do with us. Andre Fonbillion thanks me for my realistic thinking. You're welcome, Andre. Appreciate it. There's a gentleman here who asked the question earlier at 11:36 in the middle of my news broadcast. I said I would answer it. What about Solidarity saying the program won't be from the majority of Congress? That's not what they said, Miloseka. Why are you doing it? Are you misunderstanding, or are you intentionally trying to just to spread propaganda? I don't know that you're trying to do it, but you're asking the question, so I'm going to answer it, and I'm going to see if you're still in the chat, Miloseka. By the way, I said Miloska Pfeiffer. Do you have Slavic ancestry? Again, what the heck does this have to do with the price of bread in China? Okay. All right, what else? Alter Bridge, I got a few of her songs. I don't understand the words, but they're great. Yeah, they're great, Alter Bridge. I agree. Fantastic. And Malcolm Clody's here. Do you think it's worthwhile applying for government pension? Well, Malcolm, it never hurts to apply for something. If you're eligible for it, go ahead and apply for it. If you're eligible for it. If it happens, right? What's up with Keir Starmer touching President Trump during... Keir Starmer is desperate for attention. Britain's on the bubble, and the only reason they haven't been punished is because Trump loves the UK. Otherwise, it would have been punished already. There she is. Saudi says program wife. Okay. Miloska. Okay. Are you still here, Miloska? Jaco Kleinhans from Saudi made a post but it will, by all indications, have strictly defined requirements. So an option for part of the Afrikaner, but not for the majority. Well, yeah, that's probably true. It's probably true. So what's the issue there? Do you think that they're just going to say that anybody who wants to come over can come over? They're not going to do that. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. So, Miloska, are you still here? I'm not unsure. Look, okay, here, let me just make this simple. If y'all don't like what AfriForum and Solidarity are saying, then don't listen to them. If you don't like what they're saying, then don't believe what they're saying. That's your decision. All I know is that I interviewed them in person, and they told me what their thoughts were. I watched the press conference that so many people claim that they made statements that they never made, and what they're saying is true. It's not going to be a free-for-all. Well, anybody can come. No, that's not how the refugee program works. There will be conditions. We've said this. Said it from the outset. We have to wait for the State Department to say what the conditions are, who qualifies, what an Afrikaner is by a State Department definition. People want to come in here, not now, but they want to quibble about, well, you know what you're talking about. An Afrikaner is this, an Afrikaner is that. I don't care what you have to say about what an Afrikaner is, any more than I care what I say an Afrikaner is. My definition is broader than many people's definition of Afrikaner. People are culturally aligned with the Afrikaans community who speak Afrikaans, who are Dutch Calvinists. Yeah, they tend to be Afrikaners, man. I don't care what their skin pigmentation is. So that's my definition of Afrikaner, and that hurts your feelings. Too bad, because it doesn't matter what I say or what you say. It matters what the U.S. government says. And if the U.S. government says an Afrikaner is a one-legged lesbian from Bophuthatswana, then a one-legged lesbian from Bophuthatswana is an Afrikaner. That's what matters, and whatever the U.S. government comes up with, the rules are what matter. It doesn't matter if it's unfair that you're Indian, that you were discriminated against. If they say it doesn't include Indians, that's nothing you can do about it. If they say it includes Indians, fantastic. If you want to come in, great for you. But to quibble about and sit here and pontificate and speculate and wonder and worry and attack AfriForum and attack Solidarity and attack Trump, it's enough, folks. Relax, chill. I asked during news, but not sure if it was me asking, do you think ANC is trying to make America the new bad? Morgan, that wasn't the question. Someone was asking me about my interest in South Africa, and I wanted to get the question correct. So I'll get back to your question more in a moment there, Morgan. I have to be honest. I've always thought the Americans put their continent in the center of the world, but looking at your map behind you, no, that's the map. Naresh Maharaj, why did you think that? Because that's what you were told? No, that's the world map that we see. That right there, the Mercator projection. The United States is in the left, in the Western Hemisphere. We've never been at the center. The UK is at the center of that world, right in the middle. The UK and Europe and Africa. That's always how we've treated the world. Look, people have these false impressions of America because that's what they're fed, so look, America doesn't really do much for the world. America is a neo-colonialist, America this, America. And the moment we cut off aid, it's so mean, they took the money away. Oh, we need it, we're all going to die, the sky is falling. I thought that we didn't matter, that all we cared about was rapacious mineral extraction, and we're neo-colonialists. But apparently what we were doing in the humanitarian world really mattered after all, didn't it? So Naresh, thank you for sharing that. No, America doesn't put itself at the center of the world. That's just horse manure. When you're the biggest guy on the block, people falsely attribute things to you all the time. Look, America's not perfect. We've done some evil things. Yeah, indeed we have. And no, not slavery. That's not an evil thing. That was a global phenomenon. That's just how the world was at the time. We were among the first to end slavery. Yeah, we were the second to end the slave trade. The Brits were the first. We were the second. And we were probably about the third country in the world to end slavery legally. After Haiti, the United Kingdom, and then us, if I remember correctly. But anyway, so we've done some evil things, but that's just the nature of human beings. They do evil things. That's why you rein them in. Thank you for that comment. Oh, yes, Miloska. Okay. So, Miloska, I don't understand what the issue is. Thank you for still being here. So, Miloska, please, could you, what I'm trying to understand what the thing is. Do you think that AfriForum and Solidarity are, because, look, there's a question below what you're asking. Is the question you're not asking, are you concerned that AfriForum and Solidarity are turning Trump administration officials off from granting refugee status? Is that your concern? I think that's your concern. Please state that, because if that's your concern, then I can answer your question directly, okay? So if that's your question, Miloska, just tell me that's the question, and then I'll be able to answer it. If it's not the question, then I'm still lost because I've answered it. But thank you, Miloska. Okay, the other question was from, where'd it go? No, it's okay you asked the question twice. I thought you asked a different question. Beata Prinsloo, she's my wife's cousin, and she's married to that. Oh, Cohen, yeah. Beata Prinsloo and Giselle were best friends growing up. In fact, Giselle wrote a song, a tribute to Beata. Yeah, you know who she is. She's your wife's cousin. Okay, well, your wife's cousin was best friends with Giselle. They grew up in Grootfontein. Does that answer the question, Cohen? All right, that wasn't the question I was going for. Verity says, you missed my question. What happened with the Hawk? I have no idea what happened to the Hawk. Just like the guy who was doing the electricity stuff last year and then wrote to me and asked me to take down a video because I wrote something about it. I said, I'm not taking the video down. He disappeared too. I don't know. So, but there was another question I was just trying to answer. It was after Naresh. Oh, it was Morgan. Okay. Okay, so Morgan, back to your question. So, Adele, I've answered your question dozens of times. Okay, sorry, Morgan. I got to answer this again before I forget about it. Adele, you've been here when I've answered this question. If someone wrongly have a criminal record, can prove it, can they come? Of course they come. I said that a short while ago. I said our adjudicators aren't stupid. I was a criminal investigator, and we're not stupid. We can see when somebody's being set up or when there's a fake docket or where someone's accused of a crime that's not a real crime. Just because you've been accused or convicted of a crime, you should not apply for asylum. There's also youthful indiscretions. People do stupid things when they're young, and officials look at it and go, yeah, you know what, that's not. But no, if you're a murderer, forget it. If you're a pedo, forget it. If you're a rapist, forget it. They're not going to let you in the country. That's not a youthful indiscretion. That's a violent crime. Okay, Morgan. Do you think ANC is trying to make America the new bad as the apartheid does not seem to work anymore? No, I think what's happening here is that Cyril Ramaphosa wants to play the victim. He wants ANC and South Africa to be being the victim here. It's all part of a strategy in conjunction with Iran, with China, with Russia to make America look bad. Not to replace apartheid and Jan van Riebeck. They'll always have those canards to go after. It is an intentional effort to make America look bad and make us look like the heavies because we're going after poor little South Africa. But poor little South Africa has committed egregious offenses against the United States national security interests, and this is the consequences of their actions. You shouldn't get handouts. But first off, the United States has done nothing to South Africa. No sanctions. Still in AGOA, even though it's illegal. If South Africans violated our law, they shouldn't be in AGOA. Should have been removed, done and dusted. But they're still under AGOA. So this is nothing to do with any of that. The South African government's just playing foolish here. And I think they're doing it in conjunction with their masters in Tehran and in Beijing. Yep. I don't think most Afrikaners want to stay at all. Reform doesn't represent all Afrikaners. Well, they never claimed to represent all Afrikaners, altruism. Don't know where you got that idea from. Sorry, something came up there. Afrikaner Boer likes Adam Levine's music. Yeah, I like it too. It's all right. Maroon 5 is all right. Tell me how it works if you need to put kids in school if you're a refugee. Well, I don't understand your question, Michelle. What do you mean? How does it work? You put them in school. What do you mean? I don't understand. Nice interview on Biz News, says Russell Copeland. Thank you, Russell. I appreciate that. I don't understand your question, Michelle. What do you mean? You send them to school. Look, I'm not trying to be flippant, but I don't understand. What is your question? What does being a refugee have to do with being kids in school? If you've got kids have to be in school, they go to school. Are you one of these people that thinks you're going to be stuck in some camp in the Florida Everglades? You're going to be integrated in some community somewhere. When you arrive, it'll be during a school year most likely, unless you come in summertime when we don't have school. Then it'll be great. Then you go register your kids at school and you drop them off in school. If they're in a place that has a school bus, they'll come and pick them up. If you're in an urban center, they might have to walk to school or take public transport. But in most places, we have school buses pick people up, pick the kids up, drop them off at school. If you come in the middle of the year, then you're going to have the responsibility, and someone will help you because the sponsor will be there. They'll take your kids. And for y'all, it's going to be easy. Even the Afrikaners speak English for the most part, often in self-defense, but they speak enough of it that they'll be able to figure this out. But imagine the people come here who only speak languages like Farsi, or people that speak Spanish and don't understand English. People speak all these other languages. It's a challenge for them. They send their kids, they're 7 years old, don't speak a word of English to school, and they're like, oh my gosh. But, in 2 weeks, those kids are speaking English at that age. So, Michelle, I don't really understand the question. Maybe because I have better insight and experience than you do. And so please, am I answering your question or asking another fashion? I'm trying to answer questions here. Love the comparison, okay? Oh, the one-legged lesbian from Botswana. Little Miss Know-It-All. Oh, that's okay. Bill Tongue and rugby. Flash Gordon. Savior of the universe. A criminal record is a disqualification veritas if it's legitimate and it's a violent crime. But no, it's not automatically disqualification. So you have to be eligible. It doesn't say, the law does not say if you have a criminal record, you cannot come to the United States. It says is admissible to the United States. So it depends on what we're talking about. Everything depends. It depends. Why is Sonia, are you laughing or are you crying? I'm not sure what that is, Sonia. I stay out of AfriForum zone. My life is confusing enough. Yes, the UK is home at Greenwich Mean Time. Hence, they think they're the center of the universe. Meloska says, thank you for yeah, Meloska, I hope I answered the question. Thank you. One-legged lesbian. Yeah, well, hey, I'm sure there are some one-legged lesbians out there. Delaray is Portuguese surname. The vast majority of Afrikaners are not from the Free State, Southern Transvaal, Old Boer territory. As far as I know, the map is used that way all over the world. Yeah, it is. It is. But like he said, people act as if the United States believes it's the center of the world. Aliens seem to only on the U.S. map. Aliens seem... What's this? I have no idea what you're saying there. Where is Canada's oil pipelines going to bypass America? Well, I mean, the only reason Canada's pipelines would come to America is to deliver oil here, and there's no other country attached to Canada. The only land border Canada has is with the United States. So I don't understand that. Sail away, sail away. Okay. Did you see how the poor are so? Yeah, I did. Vanna Lutz, you came in late. I reported on that, buying their own boots. Speculation is pointless about the refugees. Exactly, Blixum. Its speculation is ridiculous. Miloska says, I lived in America for 2 years and absolutely love the people. I would move there again in a heartbeat. Okay, Miloska. Thank you. Again, is that a Slavic given name? It's a pretty name, Miloska. Probably pronouncing it incorrectly. Valerie Mendez says, don't think Delaray is Portuguese. Okay, yes, F-reform will piss Trump off as they want more than provided. That's not going to piss Trump off. He'll just ignore it. Why do you think it's going to piss him off? What's your basis for that? They didn't see Trump. That's the other thing. They didn't see Trump. We don't know that Trump even got their letter. The White House staff got it. The staffers got it. Maybe they'll brief Trump on it. But do you think Trump's going to read 5 pages from the solidarity? I don't think so. Oh my goodness, 12:33. Interesting. Interesting. I'm seeing a tactic being employed here by hate wankers. Wilderness Fox, you can take your racist bigotry elsewhere and fuck off. Bye-bye. You think I can't see your comments? You dumbass. Okay. Natasha, welcome to you. Francois doing push-ups. People keep asking the same questions. Refugees in America are really becoming a pain in my butt, says Peter. I suspect USA definition of Afrikaner is not the same as our definition. The USA owes us nothing. I'm grateful for all they've done, and we'll be very grateful for any assistance in the future, especially for granted refugee status. Many will take it. Yep, you're right, Juan. From what I understand, Afri-Reform and Solidarity are not in the U.S. to stop the refugee program, but to lobby against sanctions. That's correct, Theodoros. You are 100% correct. That's what they're doing. They're lobbying to prevent sanctions and prevent the expulsion from AGOA. That's exactly what they did. They also asked for money. They did ask for money. Yep. Yeah, Vilkin says go back to SABC. Exactly. I just wanted to clarify on what you think of that. Is it true? If it's true, what kind of requirements are they referring to? Oh, you mean Afri-Reform? Well, they don't know what requirements they're referring to. No one knows. They're presuming things. They're presuming that, that there'll be conditions attached to it. Well, the conditions are said. I read the conditions right here. They're not restrictive, but they seem to think they're restrictive. There's the conditions right there. You must be persecuted or fear persecution. You must be admissible in the United States. You must not be firmly resettled in another country as a refugee already. Yep, that's and be a special humanitarian concern in the United States, which Trump has already made you. So there you go. Yep. Wondering if I can keep my existing small online business if I'm America. Why can't you? Why can't you, Nistic Designs? But if you base yourself in America, you're going to have to pay corporate tax rates here. Trump has better things to do than worry about little South Africa. Agreed, 100%. Okay. Francois. It's up to the U.S. government. There. And not with an open agenda. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Thank you for your hard work and spending your time in our business. Well appreciated. Thank you, Vanner Lutz. Appreciate that. Are you ready for the rugby derbies? Yeah, I am, Pete. Yeah, I'm tired. I'm not really looking forward to calling the games tomorrow because I'm worried the Stormers are going to get slaughtered. And actually, at this point, the Stormers season is really a wash. So, I mean, I'm actually not going to be upset if the Bulls win tomorrow. And the Lions-Sharks game, I really don't care about. The Lions have disappointed, so I don't really care for the Sharks. They buy rugby. Raised by a mother that taught me to respect a person, not their skin color. I agree with you, Arno. That's the way it should be. So if you part Afrikaans, do you fund our Afrikaans? Well, Chronic, again, asked and answered. This chat is going faster than Joe Rogan's chat line. Tomahawk's not a fan of them. Well, that's fine, Tomahawk. That's your prerogative. Of course they have an agenda. They represent people. Please take some time off. You're not, what's this? You're not A-I. Oh, got it. Wonder how much is decent. I'm not taking time off. This is when I do my news every day. I've been doing it for 5 years here. Why would I take time off from this broadcast? Mr. Punch says that's never going to happen. Even the Duracell Bunny doesn't stand a chance against Colonel. Hey, Leah, how you doing there? They've been asking for a settlement like Irania. It sounds like they want exactly what apartheid tried to force. No, that's not true. That's your interpretation of it, Tomahawk. That is your interpretation. I asked them directly that question in my interviews. Not the ones that aired, but my questions, because obviously not everything is on camera. I asked them a question, and that is not. And the reason I asked them that question is because their memorandum addresses something like that. Yep, and so I asked that question. They said they asked that aid be provided for Africana Development Fund to assist with community infrastructure protecting Afrikaners. That's not a separate organization or settlement. Includes safety structures, social structures, job structures, training structures, and infrastructure to settle Afrikaners in a concentrated manner. That is not asking for a Aranya settlement. An example of this, and if you pay attention to what AfriForum actually says instead of what the media tell you they say, I was at the launch of the world debut of Self-Bestuur, the documentary that Ernst van Zel produced about self-reliance. I was there at the AfriForum Theater in Pretoria in 2023. What they're talking about is having sufficient number of people in your community in an area so that you can provide services to each other that are lacking from the government. And they use Pretoria as an example. They don't want Pretoria to be a white settlement, but there have to be more than 10 Afrikaners there in order for them to deliver services as an organization trying to help their community. That's what they're talking about. Your interpretation, I disagree with 100%. I don't know why you have that interpretation unless that's what you read in News 24, which is what they, or not News 24, IOL. IOL claimed that. That is false. That is fraudulent. So, if you want to be a Zulu organization in Northern Cape, good luck with that. There ain't no Zulus there. If you want to be a Xhosa organization in Zeerust, good luck with that. There ain't no Xhosa there. If you want to be an Afrikaner organization that is based in the Free State, good luck with that. There's Afrikaners, but there ain't a whole lot of them. You're going to have a hard time getting service to all these people spread out all over the place. If, however, a bunch of Afrikaners live in Pretoria East, where black people also live, Tswana, and others, there's nothing wrong with providing services. You're asking money to provide community services. And oh, by the way, it may not exclusively be for Afrikaners. Their effort to get the U.S. government not to impose sanctions benefits all South Africans. Their effort to get the U.S. government to not kick South Africa out of AGOA benefits all South Africans, unlike the EFF. So, look, Tomahawk, we disagree. Doesn't make me right, doesn't make you right. But I strongly believe that my analysis is the one that's correct. They're not looking for a homeland, and that's a false allegation perpetrated by the media. When do they ask for a settlement like Irania? When did Solidarity or AfriForum issue a statement asking for land for separate development? When did they do that, Tom Walker? Show me the date, show me the press release, show me the video when they asked for that, and I will happily eat my words. Because that's a huge story, if it's true. And I'll cover it. Nico says, cool, thank you. It turns out the cure for apartheid is apartheid. I believe that personally owned land. No South Africans who wanted to fight on behalf of the U.S. and ended up in the British Army in Iraq. Okay, I didn't know that. Right, and Irania is a business. That's correct. Irania is not a separate development. It's a business. It's a corporation. Speak English, Afrikaans, and craps. Learning Spanish now. Flash Gordon. You look a bit tired. Get a break. I don't look tired. Where do you guys get this from? Trump is shouting at Zelenskyy. That's awesome. I didn't even know that's happening. Let's see. That's cool. I'd love to see that.
So my car insurance just went up.
So we can pass this ad. All right, I didn't see the shouting. Let's see if we can go back.
Deal to make, because the attitudes have to change.
What if Russia breaks ceasefire? What if Russia breaks peace talks? What do you do then? I understand that it's a heated conversation right now.
What are you saying?
She's asking, what if Russia breaks the ceasefire?
What if anything? What if a bomb drops on your head right now? Okay? What if they broke it? I don't know. They broke it with Biden because Biden, they didn't respect him. They didn't respect Obama. They respect me. Let me tell you, Putin went through a hell of a lot with me. He went through a phony witch hunt where they used him and Russia. Russia. You ever hear of that deal? That was a phony, Hunter Biden, Joe Biden scam. Hillary Clinton, Shifty Adam Schiff. It was a Democrat scam. And he had to go through that. And he did go through it. We didn't end up in a war. And he went through it. He was accused of all that stuff. He had nothing to do with it. It came out of Hunter Biden's bathroom. It came out of Hunter Biden's bedroom. It was disgusting. And then they said, oh, the laptop from hell was made by Russia. The 51 agents. The whole thing was a scam. And he had to put up with that. He was being accused of all that stuff. All I can say is this. He might have broken deals with Obama and Bush, and he might have broken them with Biden. He did, maybe. Maybe he didn't. I don't know what happened. But he didn't break them with me. He wants to make a deal. I don't know if you can make a deal. The problem is I've empowered you to be a tough guy. And I don't think you'd be a tough guy without the United States. And your people are very brave. But you're either going to make a deal or we're out. And if we're out, you'll fight it out. I don't think it's going to be pretty, but you'll fight it out. But you don't have the cards. But once we sign that deal, you're in a much better position. But you're not acting at all thankful. And that's not a nice thing. I'll be honest, that's not a nice thing. All right, I think we've seen enough. What do you think? Huh? This is going to be great television, I will say that. All right. We'll see what we can do about putting it together. Thanks, sir.
Oh dear God! That is too funny. Yeah, Trump. You know that's going to make for a lot of Saturday night stuff. A lot of stuff. Okay, so a couple things here very quickly. So I did see a few things come up here while it was on. That's live, by the way. So, what's the name of your rugby channel? Rugby Ascendant. And it's on tomorrow. If one of my mods is here, could you put a link to the channel? Or I don't think I put the videos up for tomorrow yet, but it'll be the Lions, and I do play-by-play and color commentary. Yeah, they're just yelling at each other. I didn't see Zelenskyy yelling. Colonel, what is your opinion of Ford F-150? I never heard of 100. I know the F-150. Every 12 made, 10 are still on the road. I didn't know that. That's interesting. F-150 is pretty impressive. Tomahawk, no worries. What did Tomahawk say? Okay, Tomahawk said something about you got that from News 24. Yeah, no, that's okay. Sorry. Melissa says, thank you for all your help. I watch your videos every day to check what you have to say about the stuff. Everyone I speak to believes all the nonsense. Well, Melissa, please tell them to watch my content. You're not getting anything but the truth here. And you don't have to believe me. I tell you the places to go. I tell you, and then I pull the actual things up. I show you the memorandums. I show you the law. I show you the statements. This is from the EFF. I show you the comments. I bring all of it in, and I bring my analysis to it. And people can disagree with me. That's their prerogative. But thank you, Miloska. You know that you and your family are going to be invited to a lot of bride once we're there. You'll be doing a meet and greet in Durban. When are you back in South Africa? Wade Schultz, my trip to South Africa, I will not be announcing the dates and locations until things are actually happening. There are lots of threats out there, and operational security has become paramount for my visits to South Africa. So I will be back in South Africa sometime soon, and I will announce where I'm going to be. So Tomahawk says that I'm wrong and misinformed. Well, Tomahawk, that's my analysis and my opinion. You may be right. I don't think you are, based on what I said. I met with those people. They asked to meet with me from the Solidarity Movement. I met them in Maryland. They were an hour late because traffic was horrific. I managed to get there. I had bad traffic, but I gave myself just a big cushion. They had meetings. I finished my broadcast and took care of a video, then went down there. And for me, it was about an hour and a half drive. Normally, it's about an hour and 15 minutes to get where I was going, but it took me about an hour and 40 minutes to get there. So they were an hour late, so I had to wait for them. They came. We sat down. We talked. I asked them questions. They had questions of me. And then I got 2 interviews with them. The interviews, I asked for them. The photograph that was taken, I asked for the photograph. It wasn't their suggestion. So that was me. Every group I ever meet with, every place I ever go, I always take photographs of people. And that's like in the music, it starts at the beginning. You see all the photographs of people that I met in South Africa. So, yeah. So Tomahawk, News 24, if you got it from them, they lied to you. They are claiming things that are not, they're entering facts, not in evidence. You can't enter a fact if it's not in evidence. You have to provide the evidence. I provide the evidence, and then I tell you what my analysis is. I read to exactly what this says. So that's in. I'm not being combative because Tomahawk said he may be wrong. It's a very kind admission there, but they're asking for infrastructure to settle Afrikaners in a concentrated manner. When they say in a concentrated manner, that's unfortunate language. Because it allows the likes of News 24 and IOL to make false claims that they want a separate homeland. And that and EFF to talk about them. EFF does the same thing. This is utter nonsense. They never said that. This is their analysis because it suits their needs. So what did they say here? Hang on a second here. Well, they've got it somewhere. Hang on. EFF made a complaint about this. Oh, here you go. In essence, AfriForum and Solidarity Movement are asking Trump to help them partition South Africa. There's no mention of partition in there. 140 years after the Berlin Conference, these racist right-wing organizations are asking a major Western power to help them partition South Africa and create a whites-only enclave at the southern tip of Africa. That's simply untrue. They're not asking for that. They're simply asking for help in establishing resources so that the failure of the South African government doesn't affect their community. And by the way, their community. So this is what irritates me, Tomahawk. So for instance, AfriForum only looks after Afrikaners. Well, that's not true. And you see Naledi Pandor saying that they're a racial organization. I saw that last night. Do I still have that text up? Let me find that stuff from that evil person, Naledi Pandor. Yeah, where does she say that? That's not it. Hang on a second. Where is that file at? Nope, that's not it. Yeah, here it is. It's going to be in here. Naledi Pandor. Let me find what she said. Okay, that's where the good people are at. That's in Shivani. Where's Naledi Pandor? I know she's in these texts that I saved. Oh, the Naledi Pandor. For some time, AfriForum has attempted to present itself as a civil society group, but it has become clear their intentions are racial in character. No, they're not. See, that intentionally is completely oblivious and lying about AfriForum's support for black minority groups in South Africa who they've offered advice to and they've helped with. So that's just nonsense. Thank you for the super chat. I'll get to it in a few moments. Ina. So that's just a lie. Naledi Pandor is race hustling. AfriForum has helped ethnic groups who are black in the past who sought their advice, and those groups have recognized that the media in South Africa failed to cover it. It only shows up occasionally. That's a fact. They can give you the names. They can give you the dates. If you're curious, write to AfriForum and say, which are these black groups that you've helped with in South Africa and how did you help them? They will tell you. I don't really care. It's not my business. Those groups have got help. They're happy with it. They've said so. So that's just nonsense about this. So back to the point, they do provide services. When I went on Neighborhood Watch Patrol with AfriForum members in Zeerust, we didn't go to the areas where only white people live. No. First off, the areas where only white people live also have black people in them, so let's forget that. That's the truth. But then we drove through the Indian neighborhood. I've been to Zeerust hundreds of times. I didn't know there was an Indian neighborhood there. I drove by it many times. I didn't know Indians lived there. I never even saw Indians in Zeerust. Shopping, never saw Indians. They're very much to themselves. You'd think they'd be running all the shops, but that definitely defeats the stereotype there. We went to the Indian neighborhood and provided patrol there, which is a particularly dangerous place, by the way. We went there, and then from there, we went to township areas on the south side of Zeerust, where only black folks live. We provided patrolling there on places the roads weren't even paved, where there's no lights. We went out there and patrolled the neighborhood and met with people in the neighborhood. We went all over. AfriForum didn't only go to white areas. So these people are just lying racist. They're racist. They do this because they think that telling people that white people are racist is a winning argument. Well, it's not, because most white people aren't racist. Only a small number. Wade Schultz, yeah, I will be doing meet and greets wherever I go. Always do meet and greets. Probably doing some presentations this time as well. Thank you for all your help. Thank you, Melissa. Okay, South African Health is on the news about they got letters this morning. They have no jobs anymore, so they're complaining now, begging ANC to resolve this. Well, they should beg the ANC. And thank you, Tom Hawk, for saying that. You don't have to say you're wrong. Just it's a difference of opinion. Sorry to ask you, Incredible. What wanted to ask your opinion around Posen calling ANC Youth League. I haven't seen that. People keep saying that. I thought he said it in the State of the Nation address. Well, I mean, then this shows you how desperate they are that they call for violence. Senate Lieutenant Tom Posen wants to deal with now with the Trump. What is the deal? He has no deal to make. They can't get an office call. I bet you I could get an office call with the White House sooner than the South African government could. Seriously. AFROM does not support an independent or secession state for Afrikaners. As far as I know, they're basically still trying to ice skate up a hill. Well, that's true. Do you find the Afrikaner accent difficult to understand? No, I love the Afrikaans in English. Now, it depends on who I'm talking to. Those guys from the Old Transvaal are a little hard to understand sometimes with their deep accents when they speak Afrikaans. But English, no, I'm okay. Yeah, Arno says, no worries. Just get all the info and then make your own mind. Exactly. Don't believe the news. Make your own decision. You don't have to believe me. Do not believe me. How many people tell you that? Make your own decision. But I'm here to analyze stuff for you. And you can take it or leave it. I've got close friends in Charlotte, North Carolina. South Africans immigrated there. It's possible that my family might be placed. It's a possibility, James Duvall. But we can't guarantee anything because refugees go where the Department of Homeland Security determines they go. We can't just dump 30,000 people in one little town like they did in Springfield, Ohio. Springfield, Ohio had 40,000 population. They dumped 19,000 Haitians there and they fucked up the town. And that's why they're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people in Springfield. Yeah. So that's a meme and sarcasm for the people who have difficulty discerning that. Yeah. No. You're supposed to put them in places where places can absorb people sufficiently. But some people with evil intent in Springfield did that to undermine the social integrity of that town. Said, oh, we can take all these people here, and they foolishly did it. So you can ask, but it's up to the Homeland Security where you go. Oh, boy. I need to take care of something here very quickly. Give me a second here, folks. Okay, I got it. I had to make sure I had something there. Ron Pez does sort out our own problems, but I guess he's not concerned. What is the name of your Roby channel? I already covered that. Okay. I'm not tired. I'm energized. Yeah, exactly. Love all the people, no matter their color. The fact is, normally people get same values. Yep. Okay. Trump is shouting at despot. There's nothing new. Been without electricity since 3:30, says Sloat Steenkamp. Sorry to see that. No response to municipality. No. Sean Mandich, Wilderness Fox is a racist who has manipulated software to hide his comments from me. He thinks I can't see his comments, but I can see his comments. And he's already been reported to, Erica, remove that person. Don't just delete their message. Remove them from the channel. Okay, I've just done it. Wilderness Fox is a racist who's just been removed from the channel. They thought they're clever by blocking me. See, YouTube, some people think they're clever, but I can still see your comments, Wilderness Fox. I just hadn't got around to blocking you. Well, I've just blocked you for good. It keeps coming back as different names, Amia Fisher and other folks. So, you know, go away, you sad puppy. It's so sad. These people are pathetic and losers. They're so sad. Okay. There's a super chat. I got to catch up on this. Trump shouting at despot. We already covered that. Elsa, okay. I saw them on the air saying they want university hospitals. You're missing the point. Trump has offered us to help African. Reform doesn't want it. Great, now go away. As if there's no. It's you can have both. You can have both. Trump didn't say Afrikaners are racially discriminated against. He said Afrikaners who are racially discriminated against. 4 Afrikaners in South Africa who are victims of unjust racial discrimination. Not every Afrikaner believes they're a victim of unjust racial discrimination, and not every Afrikaner is going to leave South Africa. Why is that so difficult for people to understand? It's very clear. Those who are victims. Not everyone thinks they're victims, so not everyone's going to apply. The people that stay behind still need to live successfully and succeed in Southern Africa. Why do you begrudge them that? Let me make this clear to people. If people leave, they're pissed off, that's fine. You can leave. Those of you who rubbish people who are interested in a refugee program to come to America, shut your cake hole. You do not know their lived experience. You have not been in their boots. You have not suffered what they have suffered in their own view. You do not make decisions for people who want to come to America. Shut your cake hole. And by the same token, those of you who are definitely going to take advantage of this when it's offered to you, who cannot fathom why anybody would stay in Southern Africa, shut your cake hole. It's not your life. It's not your lived experience for the people who haven't been victims of this. That's their call. Stop it. These are Afrikaners. You fight, you argue, you divide, you break up your community. Stop it. Full stop. I've had enough of this shit. Knock it off. Get along and go along. Those who stay will stay. Those who leave will leave. End of discussion. Done and dusted. Finished and clear. Enough. Much love, Colonel Wyatt in the USA from Centurion. We hope put boots on the ground. Place that out of control. Thank you, Tiana Engelbrecht, for 35 Rand super chat. Trump is gold. Yes, he is. Renee Bezuidenhout. Slightly technology challenge. What do I understand is that my chat contributions do not appear in the visible. Ina, your chat is here. I see it perfectly fine. Let me see if it's not showing up over here. 1250. 35. 1250. I can put my glasses on. Can't see clearly. 1250. Oh, 1238. I'm still way off over here. 1250. Let me see if it's over here, Ina. You gave a super chat for £5. Thank you for that. Or €5. Thank you, Ina. €5 super chat. It's that 1250, but you, where's your thing at? 1250. Yeah, I see your chat at 1250 over, Ina. I don't know why you think it's not showing up. Did you put some profanity or some bad word in there? Because that sometimes happens. Oh my goodness, Space just gave a huge super chat. Thank you, Tiana Engelbrecht, for the super chat of 50 Rand. Did Zelenskyy just drop a load in his pants? Yeah, that's funny. Carr says, not enough South Africans are concerned about what's happening here. Mainstream private companies are not doing enough. I agree. Look at his facial expressions. Oh yeah, you mean on Zelenskyy. That's hilarious. Just smile and say, yeah, boss. Yeah, boss is right, man. That's exactly right. I got to catch up on these super chats here, folks. So there's... So Ina, thank you for your super chat of €5. Uncle Donald had a farm. Yeah. Oh my goodness, glad you're coming over south here. We'll do meet and greet. Yes, Suzette, I'll definitely do one. Wait, does this mean that Zelenskyy gets to stay in the night in the Lincoln bedroom? Aranya versus Hillbrow. Aranya started with very little and is now a striving community where Hillbrow went from economic hub to very little with crime to a dirt bowl. Ronell, thank you for that super chat. Just giving a go. I drive a Toyota. I drive a Toyota as well, Mr. Punisher. I have no problem with Fords, but I have a Toyota. The Ford F-150 and 250 are pretty amazing trucks. Australia really need to up their defense spending. Yep. Arno Flock. Let's see if I tip Ford. Okay, I'm not talking about the Fords. Word of the day. Okay, horse. Can't even go to the store without having to look behind you all the time. Well, that's true. Kevin K56 Music's 20 Rand. Thank you for that first super chat. Thank you, Kevin, for that. I really appreciate it. Mom says, so true, Chris. ANC never take responsibility for anything. They know that they don't do biggest actors. Yep. Good evening, Linda Griesel. Thank you for being here. Squirrel, see that Trump-Zelenskyy meeting and decided. Yeah. Got to go. I'm at work. Okay, Yolanda, thank you for being here. AfriForum works with the Church of Mamelodi. Okay. Okay. Not racist. We hate each other. Everybody equally. There you go. News 24, NCA, Daily Maverick, and most media Southern woke leftists and lapdogs, international mainstream. Maybe the USAID money that's been floating them dries up. I don't know if they're getting money from USAID. Dragonfly is still the best, says Tomahawk. Everett Genus says, hi, Chris. Jaco Kleinhein's post on X about seeing indications that refugee status would have stricter requirements. Not sure what your opinion else would be. Yeah, no, I can find Jaco Kleinhans. Whatever. There are restrictions. There are always restrictions. I don't know what he's coming at there. He didn't say that to me. Maybe they talked to somebody that told him it's going to be very constrained. We'll see. But I mean, that's just teasing people, clickbait. Yaku, I interviewed him. If he put that up, he should have said something, or he should have just left it go, because that's unfortunate. That to me is I don't know if it was if he just posted. I'll have to look at the post. If it's a post, it's gratuitous, telling people there's going to be restrictions. We already know there's going to be restrictions. All that does is make people fearful, and that's disappointing if that's what he did. Thank you for that, Everett, for the 140 Rand, for sharing that, also for letting me know that. I'll go look at Yaku now, because now I'm a little concerned about that. So let's see what he says. Yaku, Klen. Yaku Kleinhans. Okay, let me go see what he's got to say. Working with outcomes, limited opportunities, interview with Corne Mulder, interview with myself, News Week. Which post is it? I mean, he's got things in Afrikaans. He's got things in English. I don't see anything to, like. You're gonna have to send. You have to tell me which. Tell me the time you posted. Okay. Yeah. I don't see anything there. I'm trying to check it out, but I don't see it there. If you shave your beard off, you'll be 18 again. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Bart Simpson in Springfield. Yeah. Month end, year end, exhausted. Thanks. You've taught me a lot about diplomacy and then some. Well, thank you, Leslie Ann Moon. Cool. Toyota dropping a 3.0 4x4 Fortuner soon. Oh, wow. Okay. Flash Gordon says, I'm an Ausländer. Well, you don't use Ausländer. You don't use ein. You just say, Ich bin Ausländer. Tian Engelbrecht, your membership. Thank you, Tian. Tennessee is a nice state. We get told we are white and racist, but regardless, the UK is welcoming to near enough anyone who, they welcome anyone. ANC Youth League, EFF, yep, okay. Hugo Basson, I see the meeting between Trump and Zelenskyy is interesting. Saw heated now. Yeah, I'm going to put it back up in a moment. Chris is a legend, says Davi Funsell. Thank you for that. Is it cold there? It is currently 35 degrees. That would be 3 degrees Fahrenheit above freezing, so it's about 0. Well, no, it's +1. It's +1. Is that cold? Not for me. Love to rebuild one of the most many ghost towns in America. Just people in this fascination with ghost towns. They're eating the dogs or eating the cats. Exactly. You're welcome, Dirk. Tian Engelbrecht says, "Ve love Zakono." We love Zakono. We love Zakono. If they asked me which state we'd want to live in, I would be Montana all day long. Well, I want Wyoming. Work in automotive factories. I see 4 companies there. I would really try to stay in the company I work with. Well, probably possible. Unless you get California, you're going to be cold in the USA. No, that's not true, Naresh Maharaj. Texas, Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi. These are all warm states. Hawaii, all warm states. No, Val Cooper, jabs and boosters are not required in the United States. That's a myth. Apparently many Afrikaners living in Fort Lauderdale. Yep. There's a minute, what's that? The fact sheet said minorities. From the embassy. We'll see what it comes out to be. Topic says, do you think President Trump will pull a go? Yeah, I think it's going to disappear. First off, South Africa is not eligible. You've broken the law. You can't be in it. The fact that they're still in it is a gift. Speaking Neanderthal. My first snowman. Assumption, the mother of all. Yep, there we go. They find it hard to believe because they're a bunch of idiots. Well, Reg, that's probably true. I reckon he will, and then some. Fuck around and find out, ANC. Yep. Francois Fontana, everyone should stop bitching about Afroform and rather look at their track record of actions. They benefit all South Africans. Thank you very much, Francois Fontana. This dividing people up in this nonsense, stop it. Stop it. It's ridiculous. Liberal, libtard ANC voters hate Afrikaners. That's true. Let's call for proud Neanderthals to unite. There you go. We'll start Neanderthal. I'll start the Neanderthal movement. Yep. Fuck around, find out is what it stands for. Okay. Finish and Clar. Well said. I like the way you handle this. Thank you, Derek. Chris, I hope they listen. They won't listen. Kick the crap out of senators on the channel. Genoeg is genoeg. Bliksems. Yep. That's right. To each their own future. Yep. Exactly like the white idiots who support the FF. Well, Jack Markowitz. Just want U.S. troops in South Africa. That ain't going to happen, Tian. That ain't going to happen. I just love you, Colonel, the way you say it like it is. Well, I try. Finish and Clar. I love that. Trolls. Who pissed the Colonel off? Leon Lavaskogny, Chris, you have said this plenty of times, but it seems people are brain dead. They are. They are. That's right. To each their own future. Exactly like the white idiots who support the FF. Well, Jack Markowitz. Just want U.S. troops in South Africa. That ain't going to happen, Tian. That ain't going to happen. Thank you, Everett. I'm going to get back to that one in a second. It's your second one there, short order. You've said, so Space gave 1,000 Rand super sticker. That was pretty awesome, man. Thank you for that, Space. North Dakota, West Virginia. For me, wow, North Dakota is pretty cold. West Virginia is pretty depressed, but it's beautiful, and it's close enough to everything. I don't know, maybe West Virginia. If you said Wyoming in West Virginia, easy, Wyoming. If you said South Dakota and West Virginia, it'd be harder. But yeah, West Virginia is it's almost heaven. Almost heaven. Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River. Life is older, older than the trees, rolling like the mountains. Country roads, take me home to the place where I belong. Anyway, some people will come into the chat later and peddle the same crap. Better to briefly dismiss them or ignore them. Yep. YouTube hemorrhage. That's not going to happen. But thank you for the advice. All right. Way behind there. Let's catch up there. All right. Ronel Krulkump says, thank you for what you do for us. You're very welcome. Okay. I have to go to sleep, says Cheryl Potkita. Okay. Martin Digovich, the only way for me to earn a living is to go to the USA and H-2A visa, have my family for 10 months. That's not a life, all because I'm a white male. Well, Martin, I empathize with you, but I mean, try being a soldier. Be deployed for a year, shot at artillery, IEDs, seeing carnage and death up close and personal, earning a living while your family is thousands of miles away. Then come back, and then 6 months later get deployed somewhere else. So, not a life? Well, it is a life. Not a desirable life, but it is a life. I appreciate where you're coming from, but your boots are difficult boots, but they're not the most difficult boots. That's what I've learned in life. No matter how difficult my boots are, I wasn't on the streets of Mogadishu in 1993 when Black Hawk went down. Black Hawk down went down. That was tough for those people. Whole southwestern U.S. is desert. The south is warm and humid, and the whole area around Florida is tropical. Exactly, Light Rain. Thank you very much. Volia says, thank you for the information. Welcome. You should list on the New York Stock Exchange. Is that what you're trying to say, Garrett? People need to make up their own minds. No one can do it for another person. We're all different. Exactly, Reg Dodd. Rant again brings more super chats. Really? Venetia Rind, we have been without electricity for a week. We're on the same line as a hospital. An old age home is very bad for us. Can you imagine how bad it is for the hospital? There you go. Thank you, Venetia. No matter how bad you've got it, there's always someone who's probably got it worse. Think about that. That's, thoughts for them. Jared Ryan, cool. Who are these Lonnie people sending Chris 1,000 or more? Send some my way. It says, go on. Where is Arctic tonight? I don't know. He's probably flying. Afriform Solidarity combined have done more, not only for Afrikaners, but all. Exactly. Thank you very much, Francois Fontunder. Appreciate that. I don't know that you're an objective commenter, but your facts are facts. Would like to see the ANC worthless ministers in orange suits. I think we'd like to see a lot of people in orange suits. Chris, can I come over to the U.S. refugee if I'm black lesbian from Maputo? I'm sorry, Blixum. If you're from Maputo, you can't come over. That's what disqualifies you. Not being a lesbian, not being black, not having two legs. Everett says, apologies. No, Everett. YouTube is not spam filtering. The way links work, you can't put links on. Otherwise, YouTube would just be a link fest, and that's all that the chats would be. So you're only allowed to put a URL in a chat if you're a moderator or a content creator. Now, imagine what would happen if everyone could do it. So let me get to your super chat and see what you're trying to get at, okay? Michelle said, well said, exactly what I've been saying. Those who want to stay, those who want to leave, cannot understand, especially from the remainders. Attacks on those who want to go. Yeah, exactly. But surely the whites will miss some things from here, if not the weather. Yeah, I'm sure the people who leave. But why are you saying whites, Naresh? Why are you saying whites? Who said it was whites? There's no mention of whites in this order. This isn't for white South Africans. It's for Afrikaners, which can include coloreds and Indians, in my definition. But then I'm not designing the program. But Trump isn't either. So we have to wait and see what's approved. So why are you assuming whites? It'll probably be mostly white people, but that's an assumption. Okay. Everyone who buys food with a halal stamp on is paying gift to the givers. I have no idea about that. Tian Engelbrecht, okay, thank you. Tom, I deal with BE almost every day. It's either cut your prices to the point where you give your product away or here's discount, you don't get the job. Yeah, no, it's because it's all corrupt. Franz Murati says, I'm sure that some of those characters that try to sow division are government-paid agents. Yeah, I'm sure they are. What's up with Neil Diamond? Sean, I'm not going to address that. I've interviewed him. Those who wax in their ears are poking Chris like Ramaphosa's poking Trump, not going to end well. No, it won't end well. And keep poking Trump, keep poking me. It doesn't end well for you. Martin Mall says on the Vim Petzer, he claims gift to givers fund Hamas. Well, okay, he's jumping on the bandwagon. That has been a claim that's been put out there for several months. People have rubbished gift to the givers, claiming that they have given money to Hamas. I don't know that it's true. I don't have the receipts. It is disturbing. I have seen Imtiaz Soleiman say things that were very positive of Hamas and very negative of Israel, and that's very disturbing and disappointing for someone who claims to be humanitarian. I've interviewed him before, the founder of Gift of the Givers. In Santon, I interviewed him. Very disappointing. I was actually a guest at his table there to get into the conference that I went to when I was there in 2022. Very disappointing. What the hell was going on here? Did I never take... No wonder I'm getting scratching. This is a shirt I've hardly worn, and I didn't realize that. Stupid. Come on. Look at that. I never took that out. When I bought this in South Africa, it's an old khaki shirt. The frickin' price tag hook was still in there. Look at that. That was still in my... No wonder my neck was itching all the time. I never took it out. I bought this last year, and I just pulled it off the shelf. Good God. No wonder I've been driving nuts with this shirt. I got a tag in there. Wisconsin or Oregon? Wisconsin. Oregon I don't like. Too many leftists. Oregon's a beautiful place, but its politics are all screwed up. So, Linda Griesel, thank you for your membership. Okay. All right. Luke, do they see my post above that? I don't know if we saw it. 1 degree Celsius. When can I come? Afterform is a scapegoat. Louis says, my husband nearly got robbed today with some black guy coming up to him asking him what he has in his wallet. Taxi driver came to his rescue and took care of the robber. And let me guess, Floyd, the taxi driver was black, right? Right? I bet you the taxi driver was black who protected your husband. Texas, says Marcel. We must respect each other's decisions. Okay, it says, thanks a bunch, Chris. Been trying to super chat. The link seems YouTube isn't liking it. We'll post the normal that chat continuously. Yeah, Evan, you're here. Thank you for that. Thank you for the 70 Rand super chat. People want to keep super chatting, feel free. We don't want to slow anybody down. Maybe keep a tire on your wallet. Keep a tire on your wallet. That's silly. Talking about the weather, I'm sure people will miss things from a beautiful home, but we'll find new things. Yeah, that's how life works. Do you think I didn't miss my hometown when I was stationed in Germany 3 times, in Italy once, deployed in combat in Southwest Asia, in Africa, and the Balkans, when I was stationed in Tunisia, Liberia, Botswana, Malawi, Nigeria, Mauritania, Uganda, and Ethiopia? But I found things I liked in all those places. I don't even watch Zero Day. That's Robert De Niro. He's a disgusting, vile, despicable human being. How are we doing on that side of the world, Wild Bear Prepper? We're okay. Thanks a lot for asking. Kalahari Creative. Quick question. I'm coming to U.S. soon on a non-immigrant visa to provide professional services. Since I cannot find a job locally, would I still qualify? Kalahari Creative, normally the answer would be no. Normally, according to the law, you would not qualify. The broad guidelines for the law for the Immigration and Nationality Act say that you must be outside the United States to apply for refugee status because you're escaping persecution. If you're in the United States, you do not qualify. However, I don't know what the guidelines will be, and neither does Jaco Kleinhens, who's posting on Twitter. We do not know. It is not beyond the realm of possibility that if you're here on a temporary, if you're here on a holiday, if you're here, but the law says you have to be outside the country. So normally if you're on holiday, you try to claim asylum once you're in the country, but that's a very difficult process. But, and it also keeps you in limbo, and I wouldn't want that because if you're denied asylum, you get sent back, and imagine the greeting you're going to get when you go back. But the refugee station, you normally have to be outside the U.S. So I would say that's probably going to be the case. But Kalahari Creative, if that is the case, I mean, if it's done electronically, what I would suggest is that you, if you want it, apply for it, give your address in South Africa, and if you get an appointment, then get your ass back to South Africa and then try to get in the country. Just saying, that's nothing wrong with that. Yesterday during the House Oversight Committee, so it was transpired that Biden-Harris administration are donating hundreds of millions to terror organizations. Yeah, I've seen that report, but I haven't seen the actual statement, so I'm waiting to read more about that. Tractor says, God is good indeed. I hope so. No man, no woman, no man, no shirts. What's this? Okay, Renell, you have to be outside the U.S. Okay, best thing about winters, you leave your beer outside. That's true. Well, it's a Muslim organization, Gift of Givers. It's kind of obvious. No, it's not kind of obvious, Michelle, Chris. It's not a Muslim organization. It's founded by people who are Muslims, but Gift of the Givers provides relief for people all over the world. It's gone to Nepal for earthquake relief. It has helped the people with the building collapse in George. It has helped fire victims. It has helped people regardless of their religious persuasion. So you're making assumptions there. You may be correct, but Michelle, that doesn't make it true unless we have the actual facts. So good night, Faith. Go well. Okay, tell us if all minorities, Western Cape can break away, build the second greatest wall. You're not going to become a 51st state. We're not interested in your being a state here. Is there any recruitment agencies focusing on H-1B? I've been applying for 1,000 jobs since last year. 99% of the postings are scams. Well, that's the problem, Rabbit Bunny. Most of them are scams, and I would avoid that. What I would do is go to the USCIS website and look up the requirements and see if they have any links to legitimate people who can help you. There are organizations that do this, but they're tailored to India. 70% of H-1B visas are Indian nationals in the United States. So correction, not Suleiman, but NGO Gift of Givers has confirmed one of its members and his brother have been killed in Gaza, where Israel has intensified its offensive. Now, that's old news. That happened months ago. Unless it's another one. Gift givers are amazing unless we know what is going on now. The criteria for South Africa could include stuff like if you were born in South Africa and so on, perhaps if you have children. Hey, Ronaldo's here. Ronaldo, did you do your show? Richard, okay. Do you think Carl will be the first African to seek asylum? Carl Nyhorse. I didn't even know Ronaldo was here. How'd you know Ronaldo? Oh, there's Ronaldo. Do the actors affect whether you watch a movie, TV show? Strangely enough, it doesn't bug me because actors just... No, it does bother me. It does bother me. I used to be able to stomach Robert De Niro, but he's become so disgusting, so obnoxious, such an arrogant, evil asshat. I can't watch him anymore. Charlize Theron, I used to think she was smoking hot, but the way she treats children, the transgender bullshit she does, I can't stomach the person. I can't see past that. No, it does affect who I watch, yep. There are some actors who are stupid and say stupid things and I can manage to watch it, but when they go off the deep end with their vile, repulsive, leftist world order stuff, Ronaldo, I just can't watch it, man. What is your opinion of the Netflix document on Black Hawk Down? Luke, obviously you missed last night's broadcast. What is my opinion? Well, I did a review of that. Okay, I did a review of that. So let's go to America's Pulse with Chris Wyatt. Okay, and let's go to that channel. And where's that review? Surviving Black Hawk Down. Okay, here we go. We're going to go there. So I can answer your question directly. America's Pulse with Chris Wyatt. 21,600 subscribers. The original channel. Surviving Black Hawk Down. Just... And Doug. Limu Emu. Let's get rid of that commercial. See, even I suffer the commercials. Those aircraft were hit by RPGs, rocket propelled grenades, that took them down. And that's what caused them to crash. And so... like I said, it was rather prescient. I'm not crowing about it, but I still have the unclassified intel annex because I made the annex without any classified information. We had no support from the Army, from the CIA, from Defense Intelligence Agency. None of them told us jack squat about what's going on. The good news for me is that I was already interested in Africa and an aspiring regional specialist for Africa. So I had spent years studying Africa. I knew about Somalia. I knew what was going on. I knew about C.I. Bari's government collapsing. I knew about the whole situation. So all I had to do was focus on delivering the potential threat based on what I knew. So as I said, I didn't go, and we sent our pilots down there. They went down about a week later. They didn't go down that week. They waited another week, and then they went. We sent a platoon, just a platoon, not even a battalion. We expect to send a battalion, so I got a knot in my muscle here. We sent a platoon down of Blackhawks, and they didn't even go to Mogadishu. They went to Kismayu in the south, but they came back. So I did that because I watched that Netflix series the day it came out, and not series, but that documentary. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. I like how they, they took Somalis. It was a really, really sad thing to watch, but really good documentary. So Luke M, there it is. So please subscribe to that channel over there. South Africa has ANC, Mauritius, expensive and hot. Australia has horrible critters. The U.S. has Taylor Swift. Nowhere's perfect. Don't blame us for Taylor Swift. An actor or actress can't get me to watch a movie, but it can get me to not watch. That's my view, Cracker Barrel. Robert De Niro just annoys me, so I'm never in the mood to watch any of his movies. Yep. Yeah, but read the rest. I say we shouldn't even treat them seriously because they're acting in real life. I despise De Niro, but watch Zero Day for its free programming. Not interested in that. Luke says, I'll check it out. Please subscribe to that channel as well. Johannesburg Stock Exchange lost 1.5% of the value. Well, there you go. And that's actually a small stock exchange. 1.58% is going to be a big deal there. Yep. Colonel, what about Sylvester Stallone? Arno, no problem with Sylvester Stallone. I'll make this short. Can't apply for refugee status, but had to do my DS-11 in Joburg. Huh? I don't understand that. I'll make this short. What is that? Okay, come on. Can't apply for refugee status, but had to do my DS-11. I don't understand what you're getting at, Alan. What are you trying to tell me? Liz says, a plan to go. Nothing left after my illegal immigrant forced eviction. I better find out about spiders. You say, there's spiders all over the world, but we don't have the nasty ones here. No camel spiders here. Doesn't make a difference who the actors are. Just some just can't watch. Hollywood's like the World Economic Forum. Yep, that's right. Remember that in the past, actors were considered one step above prostitutes. Yep, not celebrities or influential because it was automatically assumed they were acting or lying. It does make a difference to me who the actors are. Some just don't watch. I'm with you on that one. Good question, Ronaldo. Chris Wyatt reports, here is an idea. Why not make a Discord channel? I have a Discord channel, but nobody's there. Up to 10,000 can be expanded. Also, people can network once in the U.S. I have Discord, but nobody watches it. No one's there. Early days, people asked me to go to Discord, and I found that it's a social media censorship platform, worse than YouTube was in its height. I sent you an email. I'll get more info and was given the news this afternoon about it. Okay, Bram, thank you. I agree that most whites do get discriminated against, as mostly look like Afrikaners, white-skinned Afrikaners, mostly white. Yes, huge numbers of Indian colored speak Afrikaans. But, LSR says, camel spider, ooh, no thanks. Tough to buy a Hilux in this country. Chance of being hijacked increased considerably. Australia has beast. They do. Is there work for over 60s? Yes, Rachel, there is. You can work as long as you want in America. You're not forced to retirement. You're not forced to retirement. Okay, let's go back to that Trump press conference. Let's see some more of this interaction between Trump and Zelenskyy. If it'll work.
JD, you are speaking about. What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the President for trying to bring it into this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine? Did you say what problems we have?
I have been to. I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military? And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems, even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You
God bless. You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to dictate that.
That's exactly what you're doing.
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good.
You will feel influenced.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influenced.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having
I'm not playing cards.
Right now, you don't.
You're
playing cards. You're playing
cards.
You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country. It's back to you. Far more than a lot of people said they should have.
Have you said thank you once? This
A lot
entire
of
meeting?
times.
No, in this
Even
entire meeting,
today.
have you said thank
Even
you?
today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for
This
the
is
opposition.
gold. This is gold.
Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of
you're
America
speaking about?
and the president who's trying to save your country.
Any predictions to the U.S. ambassador be? Well, I don't think it's going to be me, Dan. Thank you for the super chat. Probably going to be Joel Pollack. He's got the insane angle. Can we please do a poll on people you would appreciate a small seminar and maybe sponsor you to come Western Cape? Reno Steenkamp, thank you for 35 rand super chat, especially after that bing earlier. I asked that poll, and the response was 89% said people would like me to do a presentation, do a public lecture series, but I didn't ask if people were going to sponsor me. Yeah, that wasn't part of the question. But yeah, I do intend to do public lectures. I'm already talking to some people in South Africa about organizing venues because I'm not doing this to raise money. I'm not doing this so I don't want to pay for a venue. So it would have to be a place that we can do it for free because I don't want to charge people to come to it. You can help the venue out by, buying food or buying drinks, if the venue sponsors. But several people offered. We asked that question yesterday, so it's a good question. But Retha Swart, thank you for your 14 rand super chat. Appreciate that. All super chats matter. All super chats have lives. Thank you for that. Not sure if it asked, but those predictions, ambassador, probably won't be me. But let's go back to this. This is incredible, folks. This is incredible. Wait, Trump goes off on him too.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war, you
He's
can...
not speaking loudly. He's not speaking loudly. Your country's in big trouble.
Can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No,
Can
you've
I
done a lot of
answer?
talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not
I
winning.
know.
You're not winning this. You have a damn good chance of coming out okay because of us.
Mr. President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
You haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet,
You
and
haven't
not
been
only
alone.
in this
We
cabinet.
gave you, through
I
this
said
stupid
thank you.
president, $350 billion.
You voted
we gave
for
you
your
military
president.
equipment,
You
and you
voted
men
for
are
your
brave,
president.
but they had to use our military.
What about we are
If
speaking?
you didn't have
You
our
invited
military
me-
equipment,
you invited
if
me
you
to
didn't
speak.
have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3
okay?
days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days.
Maybe less.
In 2 weeks, of course, yes.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this. I
Again,
tell you.
just say thank you.
I said a lot of times thank you to American people.
Accept that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong. We know that you're wrong.
But you see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on.
I understand, sir.
I think it's
I
very
understand.
important. That's why I kept this going so long. You have to be thankful. You don't have the
I'm
cards.
thankful.
You're buried there. Your people are dying.
Tell you
You're
again,
running low
I
on
know.
soldiers. Listen,
Don't
you're
please,
running
Mr.
low on
President.
soldiers. It would be a damn good thing.
Mr.
And then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go and I wanted this. Look, if you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you take it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
But
But
you're
I
saying
said,
you don't want a
But
ceasefire.
I said to you,
I want a
we-
ceasefire.
This is
You get a
gold.
ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about ceasefire, what they think.
That wasn't
doesn't
with
matter
me.
for you what-
That
what
wasn't
is-
with me.
It
That was
wasn't
with
with you.
a guy named Biden, who was not a smart person. That
This
was
is your-
with, that
this
was
is
with
your
Obama.
president. It was
That was with Obama, who gave you sheets, and I gave you javelins.
Yes.
I gave
Yep.
you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave you sheets. In fact, the statement is, Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins. You got to be more thankful. Because let me tell you, you don't have the cards. With us, you have the cards. But without us, you don't have any cards.
One more question to Mr. Vice President. I'm sorry.
It's going to be a tough deal to make, because the attitudes have to change.
What if Russia breaks ceasefire? What if Russia breaks?
We saw this part.
What do we do then? I understand that it's a heated conversation right now.
What are you saying?
What
She's
if
asking, what if Russia breaks the
breaks
ceasefire?
What if anything? What if a bomb drops on your head? Okay? What if they broke it? I don't know. They broke it with Biden because Biden, they didn't respect him. They didn't respect Obama. They respect me. Let me tell you, Putin went through a hell of a lot with me. He went through a phony witch hunt where they used him and Russia. Russia. You ever hear of that deal? That was a phony Hunter Biden, Joe Biden scam. Hillary Clinton Shifty Adam.
Okay, I got to pause for a second. Light Rain has just hit on this perfect. He said that look when you realize that a pawn in a proxy war doesn't dictate the terms in a war. That's right. This is a proxy war between the West and Russia, and Ukraine is the pawn, and Zelenskyy thinks he's dictating the terms. He's not. He got away with it from Biden because Biden was being blackmailed by Ukraine because of his crimes in Ukraine that he didn't want exposed and the money. So can't get away with it anymore because Trump can't be blackmailed like Biden was.
Schiff, it was a Democrat scam, and he had to go through that, and he did go through it. We didn't end up in a war, and he went through it. He was accused of all that stuff. He had nothing to do with it. It came out of Hunter Biden's bathroom. It came out of Hunter Biden's bedroom.
Can you hear it? The helicopters are flying over my house now. They're coming for me.
It was disgusting. And then they said, oh, the laptop from hell was made by Russia. The 51 agents. The whole thing was a scam. And he had to put up with that. He was being accused of all that stuff. All I can say is this. He might have broken deals with Obama and Bush, and he might have broken them with Biden. He did, maybe. Maybe he didn't. I don't know what happened. But he didn't break them with me. He wants to make a deal. I don't know if he can make a deal. The problem is, I've empowered you to be a tough guy. And I don't think you'd be a tough guy without the United States. And your people are very brave. But you're either going to make a deal or we're out. And if we're out, you'll fight it out. I don't think it's going to be pretty, but you'll fight it out. But you don't have the cards. But once we sign that deal, you're in a much better position. But you're not acting at all thankful. And that's not a nice thing. I'll be honest, that's not a nice thing. All right, I think we've seen enough. What do you think? Huh? This is going to be great television, I will say that. All right. We'll see what we can do about putting it together. Thanks, sir.
And I need the back of this.
We'll see. I don't know.
All right, guys, come on. Wait. Hey, guys, come on. Let's move, please.
Oh my goodness. And what do you say about that, folks? That's just crazy. Wow. Wow, people wanted the link to that. I'll give you the link to that. That's that one. You can get it from Fox News. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. That was gold, man. That's going to be all over the world. No, look, Zelensky's in a tough spot. He thinks he's dictating. He's gotten away with it because Biden was weak. He got away with dictating for years, and the Europeans are weak. They're pussies. They roll over. And Trump is not going to be a pussy. He's not going to take it. So he's in a very weak position. And people like Trump's all on board with Russia. No, he wants the war to end, and Zelensky's weak. And Zelenskyy, instead of being grateful, is acting like he's powerful. Yeah, I don't think anyone expected that to happen right now, right? Love Trump is straightforward and takes no BS. Zelenskyy looks like a little baby getting scolded. That's why you get I'm downloading and uploading onto all your channels. Love it. Thank you, G-Man. I sent you a message and went to someone else. First time I've seen Trump this pissed. It went to someone else, Morgan. What do you mean? You sent a message to me and went to someone else. So you didn't send it to me then. Wish all interviews were dishonest. Yeah. Leandra Cecilia Highness says, would love to see Ram in the hot seat. Biden gave ATACMs, F-16s, Abrams, and Bradleys. Yeah, after the war started. Okay, Holden, now you're being dishonest. Obama gave medical assistance when Crimea was invaded and said, this will not stand. There's a red line here. And they just ignored it and let them have Crimea and the eastern Donbass. The Russian separatists shot down a Malaysian commercial jetliner and killed all the people on board. And Obama did nothing. He didn't offer any support to the Ukrainians except medical aid. Trump came in office and he gave them javelins to stop tanks before the war ever started. He equipped them. Then Joe Biden proved to be a feckless, cowardly leader, which encouraged Putin. So what's your point here? He gave them F-16s, Abrams, and Bradleys. What's your point? There wouldn't have been a war if he'd have been a man instead of a wuss. Okay, in your fairness, the reporter had a good questions. Yes, Cracker Barrel Kid, the reporter did have a good question. Donald Trump answered it. My biggest fear is I'm going to be able to buy Richelieu. I don't know if you can get Richelieu here. Imagine, Donald, you can get Vintog Lager. Where's the popcorn? It looks like this is about to shed a tear. America, fuck yeah. African, look after Afrikaners and the best of our country. They fight for South African future. Make a deal or we're out. That's great. Make a deal or we're out. That is a great line. Wow. Wow. We want to borrow the president. Yeah, you can't have him. Zelenskyy is being scolded, yes. When a politician meets a deal maker. He's an expensive joke. Yeah, this is what a real master and chef looks like. This is where ANC loses Russia as an ally because Putin. Yeah, you know, I tell you, the ANC's losing. They're losing Russia. Imagine Kamala in that seat. Oh, that would have been hilarious, wouldn't it? Love the JD smile at the end. Some reporter also asked Zelenskyy why he never wears suits. Holy crap, how can anyone not love President Trump? Better than Chuck Norris. Yeah, 897 likes. Oh, 900 likes now. Wow, we've been at this how long? 2 hours and 43 minutes. Not everyone. What's this? Zelenskyy and Hunter were chummies. Oh my goodness, that was the best thing I've seen in a long time. Trump and Vance, what a combination. South African here, but American at heart, says the pretender. I drink Pepsi, so I'm good. I didn't know you did. Ooh, whoa, didn't know you did a live show. Ian, not? Of course you do a live show. You must not be getting the updates. You're not subscribed. Well, you are subscribed. You wouldn't be chatting. Yeah, I do 2 live updates every day, unless I'm working. Next week, I'll be at the War College, so my live updates will be affected by it. But normally, I do them 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's because of this refugee program. I started doing the Sunrise Edition. Yeah, please subscribe and join us here. Hope Ramasofa sees the video. Yeah. Yeah. I got to download that video because I got to freaking tell, you know, Rob Posa, are you watching this? Are you watching this? What alcohol you can buy. If that's your biggest fear, you've got bigger concerns. Len Yonka Unimog. Unimog. Oh, well, okay. Don't see how bin episode happened in America. I have no idea what that means. Sorry if this is answered already, but where can I find a list of criteria for FGU vetting? Well, for vetting, you can watch my videos and it'll tell you exactly what's involved there. But a list, they're not going to give you a list of what the vetting requires. That's an internal matter. They'll decide how the vetting works. Basically, you're asking, you know, what qualifies to be a refugee? Well, there's general information under the Immigration and Nationality Act, which has these criteria to be a refugee. That's outside the United States, special humanitarian interest, persecuted or fear of persecution, and admissible. So I'm not really sure your question. They're not going to give you a vetting list. That's internal. We don't do that. As an investigator, as a police officer, I don't go, oh, here you go. Here are the questions I'm going to ask you. So prepare for them. No, we don't do that. It doesn't work that way. Without any security guarantees, deal or no deal makes no difference. Putin can just invade in a month's time if he pleases. After this, Zelenskyy needs you to step up. Okay, Cracker Barrel. What do you mean without any security guarantees? What security guarantees are you talking about? Trump isn't talking about Putin. Trump is talking about providing assistance to Ukraine. We're not going to do it endlessly. He wants something in return. That's what this is about. I think it's better for Ramposa to watch this news on his phone while he's sitting on a toilet. Yeah, I don't think Sarah will come to the U.S. I don't think he will. Do people realize that all the colors of professionals leaving South Africa? Well, yeah, well, PK, I realize that. I've been saying it for years. I've told people that in New Zealand when I was there in 2011, 14 years ago, in New Zealand, Auckland was full of white Afrikaans-speaking South Africans who lived there, and Wellington was full of colored Afrikaans-speaking South Africans. And I've seen black South Africans in Canary Wharf and all over the place. People, it's a brain drain of the talented from South Africa. Make a deal or we're out. Yeah, we're still busy with the program. No, it's over, I think. I don't think it's... Let me see if it's still going on. Is it still live? Hang on a second. The event is concluded. Yeah, it's not live. It's over. That's over. That's what ended some time ago. That's crazy, man. That was crazy. Let me see if I can download if it's available for download. Yep, I'm downloaded, so I'll be able to use those clips and make a video. ANC's the problem, not the people. Exactly. I think it's on the rerun now. Yeah, it is. I'm downloading it now so I can take video clips from it and make a video. I might add mangled husk of M1's Abram battle tanks, and the curse reason isn't good optics. Yeah, well, why did they give them M1s? It was stupid. They're not M1A1s or A2s. They're M1s. They're old. Trump takes Cyril on that. All that blood will drape his face. He'll turn white. WWE's mock fighting, right? There's no... Okay, please, can you share the link? I shared the link. Bo Smith. Are you not paying attention? I shared it. There you go. There it is again. Y'all got to pay attention, man. Can't be Johnny-come-latelys and ask for things. If Trump takes Cyril... Okay, come on. Can I share? Okay, there it is. There you go, Bo Smith. Zelenskyy ran home, Putin laughing his ass off. Zelenskyy leaves White House after angry meeting as Trump says, come back when you're ready for peace. ANC's chosen delegation just all got sick and withdrew from going. That was a Vidrika's nose break. All right. Lion, seal, hyenas. I was not surprised to see Facebook, a group for South Africans living in the USA, is 65,000. Oh, yeah, there's a lot of people there in that group. I'm in actually some of those Facebook groups, but I never follow them. Notice how many times Zelenskyy wipes his nose, sniffs, and swallows backdrops. For those who know, will know it's not the first time vids him doing all that. Was on anti-poaching ops. Poacher 0, us 6. Good job, JJ Pretorius. The M1 saw first battle in Desert Storm. Did we use it in Panama? I don't think we used them in Panama. I think we might have used them. I'm trying to remember if M1 was driven off the military barracks there. I don't know. But that wasn't combat. First real combat was the Desert Storm. That's correct. Yeah, I'll be watching a few more times too. Ilsa, why did the chicken cross the road? We don't care. President Trump said he crossed the road, and that's enough for us. Cracker Barrel says UA. I don't know who UA is. Will only give minerals if they survive the war. Else, what's the point? U.S. doesn't ensure security. Such negotiating these people is why would you give up minerals? I don't get your point, Cracker Barrel kid. What are you getting at? I could not see how Biden was allowed to mess USA so bad. Yeah, he was a joke. What state do you live in, Cohen? My goodness. I start every broadcast by saying live from central Pennsylvania. Dude, I'm in Pennsylvania. Yeah, Gene Hackman's gone training. Yep. 95. Remember when Trump said his big red button actually works? Well, mine works. It's the like button.
That was easy.
The way I see it, Zelenskyy needs to pull himself towards himself, accept the ceasefire, and stop poking the bear. I agree. Crimea is gone. It's never coming back. The Russians will own it in perpetuity. You don't have the strength to kick them out. And we're not going to sacrifice our lives to get Crimea back for you. That's Barack Obama's mess. And the Eastern Dawn mess is probably gone too. So you're just going to have to live with it. South African government delegation next with President Trump. Next up, the delegation from South Africa. We go now live. I am sitting here in the White House briefing room with a mostly peaceful conversation between Cyril Ramaphosa's delegation and President Trump. Okay, let's act this out, okay? But, Mr. President, you're mistaken about South Africa. White people have not been discriminated against. What are you talking about? What do you mean? You got 100 and some laws. Come back here when you're ready to talk. No, but that's very rude. I mean, why are you yelling at us? Yelling at you? You want to see me yelling? Oh, you can't handle the truth. I'll tell you about yelling. But Mr. President, President Ramaphosa sent it. I don't give two shakes of a rat's ass about Ramaphosa and his pala money stuffed in the sofa. Come back here when you want to talk and treat the South African people as one. Black, white, brown, treat them all equally. Oh, but my ass. Go sit down and shut up in the corner. Either you make a deal or we're out of here. And here you go. So this would be the ENCA report. Today at the White House, the South African delegation met with President Trump and told him how he was wrong and straightened him out and confirmed that there are no whites being discriminated against in South Africa. There are no farmers being killed. There are no white farmers being killed in South Africa. Reporting from Washington, this is dipshit McGillicuddy from ENCA. News 24, Propaganda 24. Reporting from Washington, D.C., this is Carol Dutoy. In the United States today, President Donald Trump was very disrespectful. The racist, right-wing, reactionary president, Donald Trump, was abusive towards our lovely, wonderful, not corrupt members of the government who went there to simply straighten him out. And unfortunately, he believes the propaganda from the right-wing racist from AfriForum and Solidarity. It is a tragic day for South Africa. Please, Russia, please, China, Saudi Arabia, save us, save us, save us. We need more money, Tehran, for the ANC's birthday bash, the 114th in January. Can you help us? Good evening. This is Carte. How do you say yellow in Afrikaans? Jaune? No, it's French. Carte blanche. Bonsoir, aujourd'hui notre programme vient de l'Afrique du Sud. Je suis le carré du toit. Je suis très heureux que tout le monde est avec nous pour notre transmission. Notre programme, il s'appelle Cogent. Cogent. Pour les gens qui ne peuvent pas parler français, je dois traduire en anglais. Welcome to our program tonight. I'm Carol Dutoy. Carol Dutoy. Our program is called Card Yellow. Card Yellow. Time keeps on ticking, ticking, ticking into the future. I want to fly like an eagle or fall out of the sky like Cyril. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here at the Cape Town International Airport where the downtrodden, dejected delegation which traveled to the United States to set Donald Trump correct his comeback from the trip. Let's talk to the member from the Democratic Alliance who's part of this delegation. Mr. Steenhuisen, how was the trip? Well, I can tell you that the DA was fantastic. We represented the DA very well as part of this delegation. And although Donald Trump has now sanctioned South Africa and he has put travel restrictions on leaders of the ANC, it was a good trip. We will be selling a couple pallet loads of Nartkis in Washington, D.C. We're shipping Nartkis there. We have been kicked out of AGO, but it's okay. The President Trump has allowed us to ship Nartkis to America, and therefore we, the DA, have saved the day. I know. No, we don't talk about expropriation. We weren't told about that, so save that for another time. The important thing is that we, the DA, have gone to America and we've set Donald Trump straight as part of the Government of National Unity, the GNU, and we, the DA, have decided that the shipment of Nartkis will save South Africa. Well, there you have it, folks, from the member of the delegation from the Democratic Alliance. We now talk to the member from the African National Congress. So, Minister Dipshit Moron, could you please tell us, Minister Dipshit Moron, how the trip went from your perspective? Oh, it was a terrible trip. They don't respect transformation. They don't respect the historical disadvantages. They're just a bunch of racist, evil white people in America, and we will get even with them. We will attack them with our nuclear weapons. Oh, I'm sorry, we don't have nuclear weapons anymore. We will attack them with our army. I'm sorry, our army's in Congo and they have no boots. We will take the minerals away. Oh, they can get the minerals elsewhere. Shit, what are we going to do? Well, thank you, Minister Dipshit Moron. Away, Masikina. It's Friday, folks. It's Friday. I'm all choked up. Woo! Woo! All right. Yeah, there you go. Well, see, that's why I didn't use it. I can't pronounce that. Carte Gilles. It sounds better. Carte jaune. Gilet jaune. Gilet jaune. That's what we should call it. Instead of carte blanche, we'll call it gilet jaune. Gilet jaune, or the yellow vest. Mutual disrespect. People have to understand that President Trump is from Queens and New Yorkers are very direct. Indeed, Face. Well said. Minerals deal off the table now. Fine. I mean, I think so. Trump learns Afrikaans. Was maak hier die buffelnoise hier? Die tune is moeite kat. Die gas is lang. Woo! Got a tongue lashing there, didn't he? Oh my goodness. Dion Gerber, welcome to you. Oh, another Dion Gerber. Welcome to you. Tomahawk. Everybody's telling me what the yellow is. Why must one of our big five be insulted? The stoic buffalo. Let's get to 1,000 likes. Come on. Awesome show. Thank you, Floyd. Merci beaucoup. You're very welcome. Ramaphosa and everyone that supports his idea are all talking from a seat of comfort. That's why they don't see the problem with racial agendas. Yeah, of course. Trump is the construction industry. No mincing words. A twat is what he calls a twat. Thank you, Mariska. Lane will tell Trump he loves white people. Of course he will. He wants his Breitling watches and his Land Cruisers. How many languages do I speak, Alex? 6, 3 fluently. I used to speak 4 or 5 fluently. You made my coffee come out of my nose. Sorry, friends. Honorable Member Zelenskyy. Honorable Member Zelenskyy. You must never eat yellow snow. No, you don't eat yellow snow, that's for sure. I can see the Colonel was Trump and Zelenskyy. The deal's off. They got a heated argument on camera. Deal is over. Zelenskyy wants peace and not just advantage. What I'm saying is that there's the U.S. offering Ukraine for minerals. We're not offering anything, Cracker Barrel Kid. We're just offering that we will consider doing future aid. They owe us $300 billion. Well, they owe us. They see, it's very convenient, Cracker Barrel Kid, for Ukraine to pretend that the money was a grant. One of my frustrations with reporting all the money that Biden poured in Ukraine was that some of it was in the form of grants. Much of it was in the form of loans. And I reported accurately. I wanted it all to be in the form of loans so they pay it back. But much of it was in grants, and it frustrated me. But the majority was in loans. And now they're pretending, oh, this was grant money. We're not paying it back. No. Yeah, you're not going to deadbeat us, Ghana. You're not going to deadbeat us, Mozambique. You got to pay back your debt. No hippic for you. CBS News Miami posted a video yesterday on the executive order. I don't agree with the way they comment. I haven't seen it. CBS News Miami. Nardki, yeah, I speak Nardki. Fly like an eagle in the background. What is happening at the White House with Trump and Zelenskyy? We just played it, man. You got to make him watch it. Sleep deprivation. Nope. RG's putting up that there's Nardkis on the screen. Why am I showing? What's Tomahawk? What's Tomahawk's question? We have no army. We have civilian reservists. Can't do a push-up. Yep. Friday comedy hour, indeed. If you have sanctions us, we'll lose out on our Nardkis. Exactly. We're going to miss that. Definitely get an abdominal workout tonight. We're all getting one. What is Tomahawk asking that people keep responding to? Can you speak or understand Afrikaans? Tomahawk, ik praat niet Afrikaans nie, maar ik verstaan. I can read and write it. I can understand. Well, I can't really write it. That's a bit of a stretch. I can read it, understand it. Chris, you're aware that banks in South Africa are holding on to millions of overseas money due to South Africans. Andre, I've heard the allegation. I have no evidence of it. I'm aware of the allegation. Never voting for the Nardki party again. Stop entertainment. Thank you for that, IMS. Your ass is grass, Trump says, and I'm the lawnmower. Stop rubbing your hands. You're making me nervous. I do. I speak Afrikaans in increments. Was definitely a Yellowstone event. Presser. Was great, Turk. It was fantastic. Well, I've always been They've been calling me since the beginning, South Africans. Tomahawk, let the Colonel show you his book on Afrikaans. Why am I showing my book on Afrikaans? I've got lots of things in Afrikaans here. I've got Harry Potter in Afrikaans. SAB's Sherwin Bryce piece just came in X and said that the vice and the president disrespects Zelenskyy in front of the media. Well, there you go. That's what I just did. We just did that little bit. That interview was about 5 best minutes of my life. Brilliant, brilliant. You're welcome, Tomahawk. Dit was fantastic. Yeah, it was fantastic. It's true. I know 2 cases. Andre, I don't know them. I don't have the evidence. So, have you read 200 Years Among Us? No, Solzhenitsyn. I have read his Gulag Archipelago, and it's mind-numbingly boring. Kill 2 stones with 1 bird, Chuck Norris style. Zelenskyy did look close to tears. We got Harry Potter and Afrikaans before we got GTA 6. Oh, okay. Well, I got Harry Potter and Afrikaans 20-some years ago when it came out, when I was in South Africa. Seems President Trump is handing out blood noses as far as he's like, drink is bad. That's exactly why Ramaphosa tried to send delegates rather than going himself. We got diplomatic narkies. Narkies, get your narkies here. We got specialized narkies. Come get your narkies. Why would you get HP in Afrikaans, with all due respect? Well, Tion, how do you learn a language? There's several ways. You can try immersion. That's not available to me in Afrikaans. I don't have that kind of time. I was serving the military. You can live in a country. I wasn't living in South Africa. You can study at university. I wasn't at university in undergraduate, which is where it's taught, so that wasn't an option for me. You can self-teach yourself, and one way to teach yourself is to listen. Radio is a good source, particularly clear news broadcast to hear the Afrikaans. And another way to do it is to read or watch television. So why would I buy the book in Afrikaans? Because I have Harry Potter in English, German, French, and Afrikaans. Why? Because I read in all 4 of those languages. When I read it in English and then I go back and read the Afrikaans version, I can see where they've translated in a fashion different so they get the colloquial application rather than just understanding the words. Why would I have a book in another language? I have a library full of French books. I have French music, French Canadian music, French music. I have German music. I have Afrikaans music. I have all of it. I mean, why would I not have it? You learn by exposing yourself to things. That's what I do. My whole life has been about education. Every time I turn around, I'm learning something new. Trying to learn something new. Or relearn things. From the library, when I was poor and had no money, I borrowed this book over 40 years ago, in the late 70s, In Search of Enemies, a CIA story by John Stockwell. We were talking about this a lot recently, about my interest in South Africa, and it piqued my interest. I haven't read it in 40 years. I'm going to reread the book. It's been a long time. So I bought it again, so I can reread it. That's what people who have a hunger for knowledge do. Have you ever had straw rum? I'm not sure what straw rum is. When you speak French, you sound like my granddaughter. Okay, Elizabeth. Have you listened to... Okay. Okay. Have I listened to them? Okay. Okay. Have I listened to Focus Policier? It's a good question. Have I listened to Focus Policier? A better question might be, and you probably would have asked this, is do I even know who they are? Do I know who Focus Policier is? Well, the answer to the question is yes, I listen to them. I'm not a big fan of all their music. Wait a second, that's not... Hang on a second. That's not what I wanted. I got the wrong thing. Why did it do that? That's messed up. You stupid thing. It didn't copy the link. Now let's see if it works. Okay. Come on, YouTube, play nice.
Reports, this is Chris Wyatt. This is ironic. I'm at Boston Coffee, which was the last place I was in Cape Town before I went to Gauteng in February. And you heard of this guy before? You might have heard of him. Francois Van Cook. Francois.
Chris.
Good morning.
Very nice to meet you, man. So you've been here before?
Oh, yeah. It was ironic. The last time I was in Cape Town, a couple of my viewers said, hey, I was over eating in a restaurant on Tigerberg.
Okay.
And my viewer said, I really like you to meet my fiancée. And okay, but she couldn't come. And we had a little bit of time. I had to get to the airport to fly to Joburg. And what happened was we drove over to meet her, but then the time was short, and I said, we're going to get lunch. I said, can we just get a coffee or something? And they said, sure. So I followed them, like, where are we going? We pull in here. And this is where we came. I had a milkshake, and I was sitting at that table, and at this table right here, I was talking. This happens to you all the time. I'm a famous musician, but, I'm a sort of a journalist, and but in South Africa, apparently, I'm pretty well known.
Nice.
So this is a good example of it. I was sitting here, and we were talking, and I was telling people about how I got recognized in Muibaga, you know, and it's a crazy story, and then at Tigerbird Valley, how I recognized. And then the table right there, the guy leans in and says, "You're that American colonel." And I'm like, yeah, that's me. Yeah, so it's ironic. So when I saw it was Boston Coffee, I'm like, I can find that place.
Nice one.
Yeah.
I don't know if you, there's a bunch of streets here, American presidents' names.
I saw that,
yeah.
I saw that. But we don't see any Trump streets yet.
No.
Probably not in the near future, but anyway.
Build another street for him.
Oh, there we go. Well, we could use some new streets around here. But Belleville, so Francois Foncoq, not your original surname. You had to change that at some point. We may get into that if you want. But you want to talk about that?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, my real name is Badenhorst.
That sounds very German.
It is German, yeah. It's from a town called Badenhorst in Germany. That's all I really know. And yeah, when I started kind of playing music and it became like a public thing, it was with Folk of Politica. That's like...
Yeah, Foco Politica, yep. Do I know Foco Politica? Yes. Have I interviewed Francois Foncoq? Yes. Have I done it in person? Yes. No, Book von Blerick won't answer my emails because he works for an agency that won't let you talk to him. Same with Nadine, same with Juanita Duplessis, same with Franyu Duplessis, who I really love to interview, and Josh Ruan. None of them answer stuff. Okay, so you're impressed by that, then let's try this. Let me try this and see if we can find this real quick. So, okay, here you go. So here's another one for you. Okay, maybe you know this guy. The Jackson 5. I think Tito and Jermaine are still available if you want to get them to join the group.
Oh, well, we can do it. We can do it. But yeah, I'm one of five. I'm the youngest of five sons.
Okay.
So we've got our own Jackson 5.
There you go. Well, there's folks, if you're in the chat and if you've got a question you'd like to get up, I'll do my best to answer it. But if you do a super chat, you definitely get our attention. But someone said a few moments ago that I heard he's a really nice guy talking about you. Well, I've only known Monty for a couple of months, and I can say that in the couple of months I've known him, the guy really is a nice oak. I've really enjoyed chatting with him. He and I have talked an awful lot about music, and I can tell you that I've been to Monty's house, and he's fantastic. He's invited me out to a braai. I've been to a braai with Monty Jackson and Danny van der Westhuizen. They're fantastic people. Yeah, so, well, friends, Nicholas Lowe, if you can get him to come on my channel, I'd happily interview him. I tried during lockdown to promote Afrikaans performers and South African performance. I would have loved to have promoted Referenza, but I couldn't reach him either because he's also got a contract. I'm not really a big fan of a couple of the artists, but some of them are very popular. I tried to get, what's her name? Oh, gosh, what's the one? Liesl Pretorius. I tried to get Liesl Pretorius. I got blown off there. So I've interviewed Monty Jackson, Trevor Dongenet, Steve Hofmeyer, Francois Foncoq. I'll interview any of them. I try to, people are just discovering my channel. They had no idea. No idea what I've done. Yes, I've interviewed Steve, Savage Daughter, and I've been to Steve's house every time I go to South Africa. What a legend. Thank you, Miguel van der Westhuizen. WhatsApp link. This is fantastic. Tian says, you guys don't know this. See, people are just tuning in for the refugee thing. People you don't know. The OGs that have been here for a long time can tell you. I talk to everybody. I talk to sightlanders. I talk to beekeepers. I talk to macadamia nut growers. I talk to Basutu at the Basutu Cultural Village. I talk to the founder of the Drakensberg Boys Choir, who's a personal friend, who's almost 90 now. I go to Chatsworth. I go to Khayelitsha. I go to Alexandria. I go to Sandton. I go to Sandown. It doesn't matter, folks. It's all South Africa, and I go everywhere all the time. The racists, the bigots, the haters, the liberals, they like to distort things and tell you lies. And what have I gotten for all this? I've got a large audience now, and I'm grateful for that. But folks, yeah, all the time talking to these people. So yeah, Jess is floored. Well, you shouldn't be floored. You're learning a little bit about me now. Yeah, and many people watch English films with their language subtitles. True. DHS probably needs to raise the threat level for some unhinged Ukrainian refugees. Oh my goodness. I am a prolific reader. That's true. Why do I visualize the... Okay. Don't drink their Stroh rum. No thanks. It sounds like straw. Stroh is straw in German. What a legend, says Miguel. Thank you for that. Yeah, by the way, not only have I interviewed him, so I was supposed to interview him first, and then I had bought tickets to a concert in Pretoria, Pretoria East. And we were unable to schedule the interview then, so his agent, who was very helpful, his agent set it up so I could interview him when I got to the Western Cape. So I went to the concert. When I went to the concert, I mean, I'm just by myself there, and I was sitting towards the back. It was incredible. I was really impressed. Karen Zoy was there, if I recall correctly. But anyway, so I went to it, and it was Foucault Policier, and it was incredible. The energy was amazing. There was a girl who had Down syndrome or something like that in front of me with her parents, and man, she was way into the concert. She was loving it, having a great time. I was outside before the concert began. I went out to buy a T-shirt, so I bought a T-shirt. They didn't have many. The sizes were all gone by the time I got out there. And I walked over, and one of the guys who's one of the alternate players who plays in the band periodically, he's not a regular, but he's on with team. Sometimes he plays with them, usually does their merchandise. He was selling the merchandise. He said, Colonel Wyatt! I'm like, what? He recognized me there at the Foucault Policier concert in Pretoria East. It was unbelievable. So I got the T-shirt, and then I sat down, and I went in and watched the concert. And yeah, then later when I was in the Western Cape, I went to Boston. I interviewed Francois. Really nice guy. Really nice guy. Really enjoyed my conversation with him. Pretty cool stuff. Yeah, that was pretty awesome. Francois Funkolk. Really, really enjoyed that. Anyway, so yeah, there you go, guys. You're learning out. Oh, we're still talking to Francois.
So I played that when I was 13. I played after school. I played a little bit of club rugby, but the music kind of eventually took over. But I mean, when I was earlier high school, I kind of got into Nirvana and Pearl Jam, and Green Day and Offspring, and those bands kind of made me want to pick up a guitar. And
so that video only has 700 views. You see, I mean, I try so hard to get viewership. And I get things to people. So here, go watch that video with Francois Funkolk. There's the link. Check it out if you're impressed and see what you got, check it out. So that is my link to the Francois Funkolk interview. And that was, when did we do that? 2023? No, it was last year. No, it's in 2023. That wasn't last year. Unless it was January, March of last year. No, I only went once last year to South Africa. All right, cool. Monty's in there too. I was at Nicklin wedding. Kurt was there. Humiliating this one girl with special needs, stood up and gave him cock at his table. So for the Nick Lowe, happy to do that. Also, I'll do Kurt Darren. I'm okay for a little Calfoot Soaky. By the way, at the Bulls game for the semifinals, Kurt Darren was there, and I was down on the field because I had a press pass, but people could walk there anyway. Kurt came over the edge, and I said, hey, Kurt, nice to see you. He was taking photos of everybody, but he had to get back out there to sing a song. So I didn't hold on. I said, I don't want to hold you up, but American fan, love your music. And he was like, oh, okay. Jay, that's silly. Oh, my goodness. Roxette, the Swedish group. I'm not, no, I never, not really a big fan. They got one song. Liesl Petersay. No, Liesl Pretorius, yeah. Anyway, folks, that's over 3 hours. Didn't realize we'd gone that long, so we're going to wrap it up here. Thanks. Enjoy your Friday, okay? How's that? You guys don't like Kurt Darren. Yeah, so tomorrow on Rugby Ascendant, for those who don't know where that channel is, Rugby Ascendant. Come on, YouTube. Rugby Ascendant. Here's the link. We'll have the games up tomorrow. I'll be covering live play-by-play and color commentary on YouTube tomorrow, which I always do, and you can tune in for that if you'd like. Here's the link to Rugby Ascendant. The games will be posted later on, but that's the channel. Please become a subscriber over there as well. I'd love to get that channel over 10,000. We're at 8,200, but until the Springboks have a test match, I'm probably not going to get there. African Music's first crap artist was Kurt. Boy, quit dumping on Kurt Darren, guys. Okay. Thanks a lot. All right, cheers, everybody. Take care, and we'll leave you with just closing stuff. It's been on for a long time. You guys take care, and I'll be back on later tonight, which will be tomorrow for South Africans. That'll be 11 o'clock tonight. Matthew Dixon, where you been there as a troll wrapping up? I just got here. Well, that's why we're wrapping up, Matthew. We could smell your presence. We knew you were coming. I'm going to go watch the Trump conversation with Zelenskyy again. You guys take care. Cheers.